Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about. Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
3, 2.
So good to see Patricia. Welcome to DBL, everyone. It's Wednesday, March 31st. I'm Tori here, and it's Ladies' Day. We got Lindsay, we got Erica. How are you, ladies?
I love a Ladies' Day.
I always try and do that. Yeah.
I never try to do that, but I'll try it today.
I'm very proud of your effort. All right, we do want to get straight to this. There's more emotional testimony at the trial of Derek Chauvin in Minnesota. This off-duty Minneapolis firefighter and paramedic got very choked up as she recalled how she begged to help George Floyd when she believed he was dying on the street. Take a look.
There was no medical assistance on scene, and I got there and I could have given medical assistance. That's exactly what I should have done. I also offered, in my memory, I offered to walk them through it, or told them, if he doesn't have a pulse, you need to start compressions, and that wasn't done either.
Things then got really heated between she and Derek Chauvin's defense attorney that led the judge even to step in. We have that. Take a look at this.
And would you describe other people's demeanors as upset or angry?
I don't know if you've seen anybody be killed, but it's upsetting.
You will not argue with the court. You will not argue with counsel. They have the right to ask questions. Your job is to answer them.
I was finishing my answer.
I will determine when your answer is done.
Okay, well,
And so, do not argue with the court. Do not argue with counsel. Answer the questions. Do not volunteer information that is not requested.
Wow. Another witness who testified yesterday was a 9-year-old girl who talked about how she felt witnessing what happened to George Floyd. Take a look at this.
I was sad and kind of mad.
And tell us, why were you sad and mad?
Because it felt like he was stopping his breathing, and it kind of like hurting him.
What did you think of all this testimony, and was it smart to have a 9-year-old testify? Erica, you work with CASA and child advocacy in court, so talk to me about that age appropriateness. How did you feel about it?
You know, it's hard to say because it really comes down to like land case. So basically, if the child's able to speak for themselves or not.
I see.
And because this is a child who is a witness to something that happened outside of themselves, that would be a little different than a child advocating for themselves.
Oh, I see.
But children are very, they tell you what they saw or experienced. I think that when we start thinking about kids, we try to make it seem as though they're less capable. They aren't. This child came on stand and simply told what she saw. I did think that the judge seemed a bit overzealous.
What's with that?
Oh, man. And I think that it has to be about the idea of generally it's you're the judge, it's your courtroom, and this probably feels less like his courtroom, so he's exerting a little bit more pressure.
That's a good point. Lindsay, you and I both made a face at that judge when he was talking to the paramedic who was simply, I thought, trying to tell her witness testimony.
Right, and you see that they tried to paint a picture of a lot of people. So the first thing I want to talk about is the paramedic. She said she stayed on scene after George Floyd was taken away just because she felt like the other black people in the vicinity would not be safe. So she stayed there. And how disgusting is it that to think of? And then to think about a 9-year-old girl who's not allowed on camera, but she's allowed to testify for a murder trial.
That she saw.
Right, that she saw with her own eyes. You have to remember that a lot of the world, including myself, I can only speak for myself, was traumatized, black people last year. So imagine if you were actually there recording and then had to talk about it again. A lot of black people that I know don't even want to watch this trial, can't even listen to it without the images of 9 minutes of George Floyd dying in front of our faces. And so I think that to think about a 9-year-old girl, yes, we need this because the justice system has been unjust to black people. So we need this. It's unfortunate that we have to watch a kid talk about somebody dying and being killed for, in my opinion, no reason. And so to watch this, you know, I'm just like so sad and heartbroken that she has to relive this over and over again, and she's this young, because we see the adults that can't even deal with this case properly. And so for a 9-year-old to be doing this is just really heartbreaking.
It reminds me of Ruby Bridges, doesn't it? It reminds you of young, sort of, she'll always go down as someone who, we needed that testimony, we needed to hear her emotion, and she did it well, and she'll go down as someone that might have changed the court, the testimony of the court and the juror's verdict. Let us know what you think about all of this. If you're a paramedic especially, or a firefighter, write us in, Facebook or YouTube. Well, we got some news about the pandemic. There's some good news and there's some bad news. So we're going to start with the good news. Pfizer just announced results from its clinical trials showing that its vaccine is 100% effective and well tolerated in kids ages 12 to 15. That's awesome news. Now to the bad news, doctors are saying the next surge isn't on the horizon, but it's already here as COVID-19 cases are now rising in 27 states. Now some are wondering if this new fourth wave could lead to another lockdown like the one we had last spring. So the question is, are you ready for another lockdown? No, I'm not. I'm going crazy. I'm going crazy. I'm an extrovert. I need my people. I haven't seen my people. I haven't done anything with anyone, but I get it. I'll do it because I'm a patriot. What do you think?
No one's ready for another lockdown.
Oh, no.
But the problem is people weren't adhering to the first, the second,
the third. Yeah.
So now, even though a lot of people and millions of Americans have been vaccinated, I think that the pressure is going to be in a different way because there's going to be the people who are vaccinated and they're ready to get back and live their lives, and the people who maybe aren't and are continuing not to follow protocol, or even people who are vaccinated and are continuing not to follow protocol. So I think that there's going going to be a little bit more added pressure, especially because we're rolling into the second summer where the economy is going to be affected again, and people are really looking just to get back to business.
Yeah.
So I think the pressure is going to be very internal, and it's going to be communal.
I think so too, and I don't know the stat, I'm not a statistician, but the spring breakers, I was like, yo, you're making this harder for us all, right?
I just am avoiding all the stories. Like, so, you know, when you go on your phone, you swipe over and it gives you like a list of the day's biggest news. And every time it says something about COVID, I don't want to see it, because one day it'll be like, okay, cases are going down and like we're doing good. A lot of people are getting the vaccine. And then the next day it'll be like surge is rising. And so I can't even deal with it. I can't deal with it. I need to get out the house. I don't know what's going on. I just really am over it. And I'm going to have like a breakdown if I can't get out the house. I need to see people around, a lot of people, my whole family, not just my mom who's vaccinated. You know, I need to like be around people.
I know, yeah, you're like me, but the doom scrolling is what they call it, is when you can't stop. And they say you refresh and refresh to get that dopamine hit. So be careful if you find yourself literally doing this, because I did, and I had to take Twitter away. I really did. I put it like 3 pages over, which
you get like a
that
vortex.
Was your takeaway, 3 pages over.
It's so hard to get to. This is difficult. All right. Well, tomorrow is April 1st, also known as April Fool's Day. And already we're getting a look at some pranks, okay? These never go well. Up first, Volkswagen has admitted that its plan to be rebranded as Volkswagen was actually an April Fool's Day stunt. That's not that funny.
Yeah.
It was all part of a rollout for its new electric SUV that's now available. That's not a great one, huh?
I think everything's funny, and that wasn't funny.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I don't know.
Up next, we have GMA host Michael Strahan. He's unveiled a new smile. He got rid of the trademark gap in his front teeth, but some are speculating that it's actually an April Fool's Day joke. Take a look and see what you think.
Here's the moment. 50 years in the making. Here we go. Let's do it. I love it.
Oh my God, no.
No.
So it's like Madonna. So here's Michael Strahan's gap before and after. What do you think? Is this an April Fool's Day stunt? He went pretty far if it's an April Fool's Day stunt.
It's not. Those are caps. Those are temporary caps.
Temporary, so he can take them off.
Yeah, because it doesn't even look like, I have, this is my second set of veneers. They just don't look like, unless it's like the veneer before the veneer, like the temp.
Right.
I think it's an April Fool's Day.
I hope it is. That gap means a lot. There's a lot in that gap. Am I right?
Yeah, I agree.
Relatability
I wouldn't say if there's
in
in
that
it,
gap.
literally, but I think it's a good gap. It's his signature look.
Totally.
You know how some people have like really thick eyebrows, like the dude that plays basketball, unibrow. Like, it's just your look. Don't cut your eyebrows. Don't fix the gap. I mean, Cardi B fixed her gap. I actually liked when she fixed it. But Michael Strahan's been doing this on TV for way longer than Cardi B, and I just think he needs to stick to what we all know by now.
And what's the one, Lauren Hutton? Is that the one? She's got a great gap, right? You need a good gap. I have a little gap. It's not helpful. Coming up on DBL, former reality TV star and businessman Bill Rancic. He's telling Jeff all about his new mission to help patients beat cancer after his wife's Juliana's brave battle. And we're getting to hear from Brittany, guys. She's finally reacting to that explosive documentary about her financial situation. What she's saying, that's coming up next.
Closed captioning provided by
Lots of folks are talking online about foregoing COVID-19 tests after getting vaccinated, essentially celebrating the fact that they'll never have to take another test again after getting their shots. But is this sentiment in line with the official guidance? Our question is, are vaccinated people exempt from COVID-19 tests? For more, we went to the CDC and North Carolina's State Health Director, Dr. Elizabeth Tilson. It turns out the answer comes down to symptoms.
The people who are fully vaccinated, which means that you're at least 14 days after your last dose. If you have any symptoms of COVID, you still should get tested. It is just people who are fully vaccinated. If they have a close contact but they don't have any symptoms, then they don't need to get tested.
But the CDC reminds even the vaccinated with no symptoms pass only goes so far. There could be additional testing requirements in certain situations and in certain states and localities. For example, it says if you were to travel internationally and come home, you'd still have to test to re-enter the country, regardless of vaccination status. So here's how we're breaking down this verify. Are vaccinated people exempt from COVID-19 tests? For an exposure with no symptoms, the answer is yes. For an exposure with symptoms, the answer is no. And for re-entry to the U.S. after travel, it's also no. With your Verify, I'm Vanessa Rufus.
Welcome back to DBL. Look at that. Our big shout out to our coworkers tuning in from home during the pandemic. We've got Kiri. Look at Chin Chin over there. Hi, Chin Chin. I like calling him out. Stu. Movie review. We miss you all so much. Can't wait to give you all snuggles. Well, Britney Spears has finally broken her silence about a very controversial documentary exploring her life in the spotlight. And it's not what you'd think. So Britney posted a lengthy message on Instagram yesterday, along, of course, with a video of her dancing. She wrote that she didn't watch the New York Times doc framing Britney Spears, but said from what the little she did see of it, she was embarrassed by the light that they put her in and ended up crying for 2 weeks. She added that she just has felt judged and exposed her whole life, and she needs to dance to keep her sanity and to feel human and alive. Page Six is also reporting that Britney's father has filed legal papers requesting the singer pay more than $3 million in legal fees due to their ongoing conservatorship battle. I gotta say, her father is, that's my feeling, but I don't care for the father at all, and that's my opinion. Interesting to think that Britney, where we all were like, I apologized after this documentary. I thought finally someone's sticking up for Britney, and she didn't think it was her narrative. What do you think?
I think that's really the hardest part, when it's not your narrative, but it is your story.
It's weird.
Yeah, I just watched the Tina Turner documentary last night, and just how traumatic it has been for her to not own her narrative. And just, you watch like a Britney Spears, anytime you're the first of something and how you just get consumed by the public, I just wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy.
No, I agree. I thought it was, it wasn't an authorized biography, but I thought it was like real, and she's saying it's very little to do with her.
And it seems like everybody was campaigning for her and on her side after it aired, and then she's just like, I hated this, and I didn't have a good experience with this. And it's weird because she's been talking about being judged constantly. So even the people who weren't on her side, this documentary came out, and then she's getting judged once again. And I think she's probably just tired of this battle being public with her family member, because you guys can imagine feuding with a family member is hard and annoying, but imagine doing it publicly and then it gets this messy where now he's suing her. It just, I feel bad for her.
See, that's always been the thing, though. I think when people come out and they support you and they stand you, then people, it's like, my intentions are good, so this is a great thing.
Right.
But is it really a great thing for the person who's on the receiving end? And I know you apologize. I've certainly gotten backlash for saying things, but it's always been my thought, like, if I were in that situation, I would want it to go under the radar. However, it did a lot of good to have people bring what the issues up were, because otherwise going under the radar might have meant that she could have continued to be abused.
Or I think her conservatorship and the Free Britney movement, whether or not she's 100% behind it, did take off, and that had momentum, and she clearly wants her dad off of her conservatorship. I want to make it clear to our audience, she doesn't not want a conservator. She knows she's not great with money. She knows she needs help, but she'd rather have this woman Joy do it, and I think that documentary helped her in that way, in some ways. But interesting about narratives, right? Who's telling the real story? It's important to figure that out. Coming up on DBL, a one-on-one with Bill Rancic. I had such a crush on him. From life with Giuliana to what he's learned since winning The Apprentice nearly 20 years ago. Don't miss it.
Recently, I live in New York City now. I live in Queens, which has a very large Asian population. There have been reports of, just the ugliest names, the ugliest slurs. They feel like mud coming out of my mouth. But, I have friends who have had rocks thrown at them when they're trying to go for a jog. You hear stories about a 65-year-old woman getting hit in the head. It's reached a fever pitch that is new.
DBL.
I'll just be really 100. We always pull the curtain back on this show.
The most diverse team of voices in daytime.
You know I love you, and I feel that.
We're known for our authentic take.
Well, I'm thrilled about it.
I can't.
Yeah. You aren't shocked.
Have you guys all gone insane?
And no holds barred approach.
And that's the problem that we're talking about.
Get real.
On what everybody is talking about.
You just gave me chills. Thank you for that. I feel like you just spoke for every single viewer that is watching right now.
Welcome back to DBL. Bill Rancic is the first reality show contestant to hear the words, "You fired." Excuse me, "You hired" from Donald Trump. Now he is his own boss, advocating for cancer care. And earlier, he opened up to Jeff about his wife Giuliana's battle with the disease. In today's Chatting with the Stars.
Bill Rancic, welcome to Daily Blast Live. As the first winner of The Apprentice, you were part of reality TV history. What did you learn from your former boss and president, and when was the last time you spoke with him?
Well, it was funny. When I did The Apprentice, reality TV was in its infancy. Lo and behold, it was one of the most highly rated shows of that year. So for me, it was an opportunity of a lifetime, and it helped me go on to do other great things. Through that experience, I met my wife, Giuliana, as well.
What was it like, getting interviewed by Giuliana after you were winning The Apprentice, and then somehow you started talking about kids, marriage, your zodiac sign? You asked her out on a date? Was that love at first sight right there, Bill?
What do you look for in a girl?
I want someone who's fun and, exciting, and someone you can share your life with, someone who's, into adventure.
She was interviewing me, ironically enough. I was out promoting one of the, I think it was season 3, because I became a judge on the show. And, I knew that she was a runner. And after the interview, I worked up enough courage to ask her if she wanted to go for a run sometime. And she kind of looked at me funny, and she paused, and she said, "How about dinner instead?" And that was it. It was love at first sight. We were engaged like 10 or 11 months later, and we've been together over 15 years now, and we have an 8-year-old son named Duke.
Back in 2011, Giuliana was diagnosed with cancer, but now she's back on that same red carpet, Bill.
Come on.
What's the latest on Giuliana's cancer recovery right now?
Well, she's been cancer-free, thank God, and certainly she has used this negative and turned it into a positive. And through showcasing her cancer journey on the Giuliana and Bill show, we were able to, really inspire a lot of people to go out and get mammograms or give self-exams, whatever the case may be.
Bill, what was it like for you? Because everyone always asks about Giuliana. What was it like for you caring for a spouse with cancer? Were you scared at any point?
When you're a caregiver, it's funny, you wear a lot of different hats. But I think the most important role I played was helping Juliana make decisions based on knowledge rather than decisions based on emotion.
That's great advice, Bill. Now, you're currently promoting the C3 Prize. People from all over the world submitted their best ideas about improving cancer care. What else can you tell us about this challenge, Bill?
Well, it's the C3 Prize, and we've been doing it for 5 years now, and it stands for Changing Cancer Care. And our mission is really to improve the life of those people who are impacted by cancer beyond the medicine component.
We want to recognize all of the innovators who submitted their ideas to change cancer care this year.
I needed to join this movement because Juliana and I started this 10 years ago, and I wanted to keep moving it forward.
Thank you so much for talking to us today. You answered so many great questions, but I got to be honest, Bill, you didn't answer the one about when the last time you talked to the president was.
Oh, you know what? He's been pretty busy, and you know, I've been letting him do his job, and I've been focusing on and helping people with the cancer. So anyone who wants to join this movement, they can go to c3prize.com and join the movement.
Bill, you're a genius with the answers. I was only teasing you, man. You're doing something way better. So, Bill Rancic, thank you so much for joining us on Daily Blast
I know you
Live.
are. I know.
Totally teasing with you, man. Totally teasing with you. Listen, give our best to Juliana, the rest of the family, and continue, guys.
Great job out there, too.
Thank you so much, man.
Thank you.
Hopefully, you know, when the COVID settles down, we can get you guys in studio one day if you're ever in Denver.
Well, count us in. We love Denver. That's where our son was born.
Bill, thank you so much, man. We'll be right back, everybody.
Okay.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
For a lot of people still waiting for stimulus checks, they should soon be in the mail. But that is not true for everyone. Let's connect the dots. People who receive Social Security and other federal benefits but don't normally file a tax return should start having their stimulus payments processed this weekend. The IRS says the majority of those payments will be sent electronically and should be received by April 7th. This is welcome news because many people on Social Security have so far not received their individual $1,400 payments. So why were the checks held up? The short answer is red tape. The long answer is the Social Security Act does not allow the agency to use money for administrative work not connected to their main mission. That means they couldn't get the IRS the information it needed to send out checks, but thanks to some legal wrangling, that has now been worked out. One group left out of this good news, VA beneficiaries. The IRS says it is continuing to review data it has on people who receive veterans benefits but don't file tax returns. But it does expect to come up with a payment date soon, hopefully around mid-April.
it's time for Security Alert, sponsored by LifeLock. So there's a big increase in gift card scams happening right now. The Better Business Bureau is reporting that gift card scams have nearly tripled over the past 3 years. The scammers are targeting consumers again over 65 and asking them to make a payment via a gift card. They take your money and sometimes even your personal info. Gift cards don't carry the same protection as credit or debit cards, so once they take your money, it's very hard to get it back. But if your information has been breached, LifeLock is here to help. LifeLock keeps you and your digital identity secure from cyber criminals. Call 1-800-439-9017 or visit lifelock.com to learn more. Important to keep your eyes on the elders, guys. It's very important to do so. I got a great comments about the 9-year-old testifying I want to read to you guys. Jen said she lived it already. So actually talking about it and helping out the ones that are responsible may help her in a way, which I think I hadn't thought about.
Do you see that judge?
I know.
How was that helpful? He was condescending and then I mean, what?
Well, hopefully not to the child.
Right.
Yeah, victim impact statements really change a lot of things for either victims or the people who are in proximity to them.
I hadn't thought of it that way, and that gives me hope. Crystal says, my first thought was that poor child will forever have those images, but I agree with you all on the panel. You need that child to tell what she saw in order for reality to be recognized.
Think about Maya Angelou, who believed that her voice actually killed a man, like when she named her accuser. Right. But it was like she understood the power of her voice. Now that's an extreme circumstance, but when children understand the power of their voice, that speaking out can actually make an impact on circumstances, you would be surprised how much more mature some of these kids are than their average age, peer.
Bless her, bless her. All right, goodbye to our coworkers at home today. When the pandemic's over, we'll be back again. DBL's new every day. Bye, guys. DBL.
I'll just be really 100. We always pull the curtain back on this show.
The most diverse team of voices in daytime.
You know I love you, and I feel that.
We're known for our authentic take.
I'm thrilled about it.
I can't.
You aren't shocked.
Have you guys all gone insane?
And no holds barred approach.
And that's the problem that we're talking about.
Get real.
On what everybody is talking about.
You just gave me chills. Thank you for that. I feel like you just spoke for every single viewer that is watching right now.
Talking about today on Daily Blast Live.
The murder trial for Derek Chauvin continues as a firefighter who tried to help George Floyd takes the stand, giving powerful testimony.
If he doesn't have a pulse, you need to start compressions.
In today's True Crime Chronicles, a fire chief's wife dies when her house goes up in flames. Was it an accident or a cold-blooded murder? Britney Spears breaks her silence, her thoughts on the controversial Framing Britney documentary. And housewives behaving badly, why another cast member from the franchise is now facing charges.
Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
3, 2,
Welcome to DBL. It is Wednesday, March 31st. I am Sam here with Jeff and Erica. Tori joins us from home. Let's get right to it because more emotional testimony at the trial of Derek Chauvin in Minnesota. This off-duty Minneapolis firefighter and paramedic got choked up as she recalled how she begged to help George Floyd when she believed he was dying on the street. Take a look.
There was no medical assistance on scene, and I got there and I could have given medical assistance. That's exactly what I should have done. I also offered, in my memory, I offered to walk them through it or told them, if he doesn't have a pulse, you need to start compressions, and that wasn't done either.
Things got heated between she and Derek Chauvin's defense attorney. That led the judge to step in. Take a look.
And would you describe other people's demeanors as upset or angry?
I don't know if you've seen anybody be killed, but it's upsetting.
You will not argue with the court. You will not argue with counsel.
Mm-hmm.
They have the right to ask questions. Your job is to answer them.
I was finishing my answer.
I will determine when your answer is done.
Okay, well.
And so, do not argue with the court. Do not argue with counsel. Answer the questions. Do not volunteer information that is not requested.
Another witness who testified yesterday was a 9-year-old girl who talked about how she felt witnessing what happened to George Floyd.
I was sad and kind of mad.
And tell us, why were you sad and mad?
Because it felt like he was stopping his breathing, and it is kind of like hurting him.
Wow. All right. So, DBL Nation, we always want to hear from you. What did you think of all this testimony? And Erica, what were your thoughts, A, of the testimony, but also having this 9-year-old girl testify?
Well, the 9-year-old was a witness, and she has her truth, and her truth needs to be heard just like any adult's truth. I think that people make a mistake to think that children don't understand or can articulate what they've experienced. This might have also been very cathartic for her, and I hope that she's getting some therapy. I was really confused about how overzealous the judge seemed to be going after the witness on the stand. And to me, like, it didn't sound like she was, because this isn't the totality of her testimony, it sounded like she was just answering in a question like, I don't know if you've ever seen someone lose their life, but it's very upsetting. I don't understand where all of the extra was coming from.
Yeah, I think the judge just had to take control. I think emotions are very high in this case, and for the next couple weeks it's going to go on. So I think he has to take control of the courtroom right now. But I want to focus more about the 9-year-old little girl. I mean, you mentioned it's cathartic, and I hope it is for her. I'm just worried about the trauma that she witnessed, the trauma of going through all this, because of a lot of things that happen to you later in life stem back to when you were a child, right? So I hope she's getting the therapy that she needs. I hope she takes this all in stride and it doesn't affect the rest of her life.
Yeah, Tori, you know the legal system more than any of us. What did you make of not only, having the 9-year-old testify, and I agree with Jeff and Erica, but also the reaction of that judge? Was that customary in your opinion?
I think it was the judge showing that he was in control, but I also want to point out how important the crowd's reaction is to this case. So both the defense and the prosecution want to focus on the crowd. Now, one side wants to say they were really upset and worried that someone was going to die, and that was clear. And the other side is saying they were very angry, and because they were angry, police had to take a harder stance. So when she offered a little bit of her own testimony of thoughts, he kind of stepped in. Did I think it was too much? Absolutely. I think he should have backed off. But know that both the prosecution and defense needs that crowd for different reasons, and that's why those witnesses are so important. And may I just say, just like you guys all said, that 9-year-old, we need her. We need her testimony like Ruby Bridges needed to go to school. We need her because if a 9-year-old could see that this man was being hurt, then a police officer should have known as well.
Well said, Tori. And in fact, we're getting comments saying that, testifying is too traumatic for a 9-year-old. Well, I think witnessing a man die is too traumatic for a 9-year-old.
And there are land hearings for that. There's a determination if a child can go before the court or not and advocate for themselves or others.
Well said.
Just so you know.
Okay, so we have some good news and some not so good news about the pandemic. Let's start with the good news, shall we? Pfizer just announced results from its clinical trials showing that its vaccine is 100% effective and well tolerated in kids ages 12 to 15. Now on to some bad news. Doctors are saying the next surge isn't on the horizon, but it's already here as COVID-19 cases are rising in 27 states. Some are wondering if this new fourth wave could lead to another lockdown, like the one we had last spring. So the question is, in DBL Nation, I'm always reading your comments. Are you ready for another lockdown? What would you say, Jeff?
No, absolutely not. I think we know a lot more than the start of the pandemic, and I think we've learned that being outside with the UV rays, it helps not spread the cause of this virus. Vitamin D is very good for your body and in protecting yourself against this virus. So I think a lockdown is a complete mistake. Being inside, indoors with people who are spreading this virus, being outside is the answer to taming this virus. So a lockdown, absolutely not.
I think it's going to contribute to more policing each other. Like there's going to be this communal.
More?
Yes, I really do, because people, now we have this whole demographic who have been vaccinated and people who haven't been, people who have been playing by the rules and people who haven't been. But the idea that some people are like, wow, I have newfound freedom, I want to go out and live my life, is going to create more policing of each other within our communities.
I'm all for that. And before, I remember when Tori said on the show that she's going to ask for a vaccine card. I am right there with you now, Tori. I'm serious. I'm not going to risk my husband or my child or children. I forget that I have two. Isn't that funny? It's even though Miles is a year old, I forget that I have two. But I'm not going to risk it. I'm going to hang out with people that are vaccinated.
Let me, and Tori, I want you to jump in too. But what if they lift the mask mandate, right? And there are people over policing. Okay, I'm with you. I don't like when people point out other people just to be that person to tell someone what to do. But if they lift the mask mandate and you don't technically have to wear a mask and you are vaccinated, who is someone to come out and point out your business, what's going on? Do you know what I'm saying? So you said it's going to over-police. That's going to cause problems if people try to over-police when they're like, show me your vaccine card. It's like, no, lady, who are you?
I would never ask a stranger, show me your vaccine card.
No, but people do. People are taking authority upon themselves.
But if I'm going to have a get-together, I'm going to have a get-together with people that are vaccinated only. That's just my point. Tori.
No, that's the consequence you take. If you don't want to be vaccinated, that's your choice right now, but that means that you ain't coming to my house and my house is off the hook.
Tori, none of us have been to your house, and that was way before the pandemic. So you can just hook that back up, because that is not true.
She used the pandemic as an excuse why she has no one over.
I know. I want to go to Erica's karaoke lounge.
Oh,
is that what I can call it?
It's the Cobb Karaoke Club. It's in the basement. We got the big disco ball, some stream lighting.
You sing our song.
Yep, that's right. Shoop. I was shooping this weekend.
Yep.
We got 2 mics, y'all.
Ooh, girl. I know Jeff's song. Can I tell the viewers?
Of course.
Jeff's song is Digital Underground, the Humpty Hump.
Wow, you even like you were filling out the card, Digital Underground.
I know.
You knew the name too.
Of course.
That's pretty. You get bonus points.
You don't think I know who Digital Underground is?
That was. I'm giving you a compliment.
Okay. It feels like that you don't have faith in me that I'm not cool.
Well.
Did you guys see Jeff's face? All right, coming up on DBL, a real housewife is in trouble with the feds. Why would she invite cameras in knowing she might be up to something shady?
Good question, Sam.
Okay, Erica has something to say about that. Plus, former reality TV star and businessman Bill Rancic, he's telling Jeff about his new mission to help patients beat cancer after his wife Juliana's brave battle. And Britney Spears is finally reacting to that explosive documentary about her financial situation. What she's saying next.
Closed captioning provided by
Some folks are talking online about foregoing COVID-19 tests after getting vaccinated, essentially celebrating the fact that they'll never have to take another test again after getting their shots. But is this sentiment in line with the official guidance? Our question is, are vaccinated people exempt from COVID-19 tests? For more, we went to the CDC and North Carolina's State Health Director, Dr. Elizabeth Tilson. It turns out the answer comes down to symptoms.
For people who are fully vaccinated, which means that you're at least 14 days after your last dose, if you have any symptoms of COVID, you still should get tested. It is just people who are fully vaccinated. If they have a close contact but they don't have any symptoms, then they don't need to get tested.
But the CDC reminds even the vaccinated with no symptoms pass only goes so far. There could be additional testing requirements in certain situations and in certain states and localities. For example, it says if you were to travel internationally and come home, you'd still have to test to re-enter the country, regardless of vaccination status. So here's how we're breaking down this verify. Are vaccinated people exempt from COVID-19 tests? For an exposure with no symptoms, the answer is yes. For an exposure with symptoms, the answer is no. And for re-entry to the U.S. after travel, it's also no. With your Verify, I'm Vanessa Rufus.
Welcome back to DBL. There are our co-workers tuning in from home during the pandemic. Keep up the great work, everyone. So Britney Spears has spoken, or broken her silence rather, about a controversial documentary exploring her life in the spotlight. Britney posted a lengthy message on Instagram yesterday, along with a video of her dancing. She wrote that she didn't watch the New York Times doc called Framing Britney Spears, but said from what she had seen of it, she was embarrassed by the light they put her in and ended up crying for 2 weeks. She felt judged and exposed her whole life, and she just needs to dance to keep her sanity and to feel human and alive. Page 6 is also reporting that Britney's father has filed legal papers requesting the singer pay more than $3 million in legal fees due to their ongoing conservatorship battle. Wow. You know, I thought that Britney Spears would be relieved to have her story out. And a month or so ago, when this, first came to light, I called one of her main backup dancers, who's a really good friend of mine, and I asked him to come on the show and speak about it. He said, absolutely not. Britney would be horrified. He said, I was asked to also do that documentary. There was a backup dancer in that documentary. It was not him, the person I'm speaking of. And he said, and she's really upset that people that love her and know her are speaking for her. So this just goes to show, even though there's many people advocating for her, that this is traumatizing for her, and she does not have a voice still.
Yeah, and she's very much in it on top of it, which always makes the story or the subject a very tricky one to navigate. I just watched the Tina documentary on Tina Turner on HBO Max, and that put things into perspective for me a lot, because she was really trying to get under that I've been abused, by Ike Turner thing. She had this major comeback, and every time she made an attempt to put it out there so that it would go away, then people would take the story, own her narrative. She didn't have ownership over it, so she tried to do it herself. And what she kept saying was, I don't like to visit that part of I want to be happy. I don't want to be living in my trauma. And every time something comes up about Britney Spears, it forces the person to live in their trauma. So how is that fair to anyone?
Was Tina in the documentary that you're speaking of?
Yes, she was.
So I like that, okay? I always say this, Tiger Woods wasn't in his documentary. They could say whatever they want. Britney Spears wasn't in hers. They could say whatever they want. But I want to hear from the person. I want to hear from Tina Turner what Tina's experiences were like. Not to sensationalize a story and try to sell more copies or newspaper articles or whatever it may be. I like when people are in it, so I get Britney on this side saying, that's not my truth. You might think it is, but it's not.
Right. And, she allegedly can't speak her truth, to that conservatorship and everything that she's gone through with her dad. And to now hear that her dad allegedly is suing her for $3 million, if that's true, that just proves the egregiousness of their relationship and his protection, I say that in quotes, of his daughter.
I would imagine it being a lot different at 39, I think Britney Spears is, than 79 when Tina Turner sat down to really finally open up. So, I mean, she's very much in it. These are all things that are happening in real time.
Right, I know. Gosh, I just hope that we can hear from Britney herself one day. And let me tell you, we stand with you, Britney. Coming up on DBL, Brad and Angelina's never-ending divorce drama. Why their relationship is still on the rocks years after filing the papers. And one-on-one with Bill Rancic, from life with Juliana to what he's learned since winning The Apprentice nearly 20 years ago. Don't miss it. That's coming up next.
Recently, I live in New York City now. I live in Queens, which has a very large Asian population. There have been reports of, I mean, just the ugliest names, the ugliest slurs. Like they feel like mud coming out of my mouth. But you know, I have friends who have had rocks thrown at them when they're trying to go for a jog. It's you know, you hear stories about a 65-year-old woman getting hit in the head. It's reached a fever pitch that is new.
DBL.
I'll just be really 100. We always pull the curtain back on this show.
The most diverse team of voices in daytime.
You know I love you, and I feel that.
We're known for our authentic take.
Well, I'm thrilled about it.
I can't.
You aren't shocked.
Have you guys all gone insane?
And no holds barred approach.
And that's the problem that we're talking about.
Get real.
On what everybody is talking about.
You just gave me chills. Thank you for that. I feel like you just spoke for every single viewer that is watching right now.
Welcome back to DBL. Bill Rancic is the first reality show contestant to hear the words, "You hired," from Donald Trump. Was that a good one, Rob? No. Well, now Bill's his own boss, advocating for cancer care. Earlier, he opened up about his wife Juliana's battle with the diagnosis in today's Chatting with the Stars. Bill Rancic, welcome to Daily Blast Live. As the first winner of The Apprentice, you were part of reality TV history. What did you learn from your former boss and president, and when was the last time you spoke with him?
Well, you know, it was funny. When I did The Apprentice, you know, reality TV was in its infancy. You know, lo and behold, it was one of the most highly rated shows of that year. So for me, it was an opportunity of a lifetime, and it helped me go on to do other great things. You know, through that experience, I met my wife, Juliana, as well.
What was it like, you know, getting interviewed by Juliana after you were winning The Apprentice, and then somehow you started talking about kids, marriage, your zodiac sign? You asked her out on a date. Was that love at first sight right there, Bill?
What do you look for in a girl?
I mean, I want someone who's fun and, you know, exciting, and someone you can share your life with, someone who's, you know, into adventure.
You know, she was interviewing me, ironically enough. I was out promoting one of the, I think it was season 3, because I became a judge on the show. And, you know, I knew that she was a runner. And after the interview, I worked up enough courage to ask her if she wanted to go for a run sometime. And she kind of looked at me funny, and she paused, and she said, "How about dinner instead?" And that was it. It was love at first sight. We were engaged like 10 or 11 months later, and we've been together over 15 years now, and we have an 8-year-old son named Duke.
Back in 2011, Juliana was diagnosed with cancer, but now she's back on that same red carpet, Bill.
I mean, come on.
What's the latest on Juliana's cancer recovery right now?
Well, she's been cancer-free, thank God, and you know, certainly she has used this negative and turned it into a positive. And through showcasing her cancer journey on the Juliana and Bill show, we were able to, you know, really inspire a lot of people to go out and get mammograms or give self-exams, whatever the case may be.
Bill, what was it like for you? Because everyone always asks about Juliana. What was it like for you caring for a spouse with cancer? Were you scared at any point?
You know, when you're a caregiver, it's funny, you wear a lot of different hats. But I think the most important role I played was helping Juliana make decisions based on knowledge rather than decisions based on emotion.
That's great advice, Bill. Now, you're currently promoting the C3 Prize. People from all over the world submitted their best ideas about improving cancer care. What else can you tell us about this challenge, Bill?
Well, it's the C3 Prize, and we've been doing it for 5 years now, and it stands for Changing Cancer Care. And our mission is really to improve the life of those people who are impacted by cancer beyond the medicine component.
We want to recognize all of the innovators who submitted their ideas to change cancer care this year.
I needed to join this movement because Juliana and I started this 10 years ago, and I wanted to keep moving it forward.
Thank you so much for talking to us today. You answered so many great questions, but I got to be honest, Bill, you didn't answer the one about when the last time you talked to the president was.
Oh, you know what? He's been pretty busy, and you know, I've been letting him do his job, and I've been focusing on and helping people with the cancer. So anyone who wants to join this movement, they can go to c3prize.com and join the movement.
Bill, you're a genius with the answers. I was only teasing you, man. You're doing something way better. So, Bill Rancic, thank you so much for joining us on Daily Blast.
I know you
Live.
were. I know.
Totally teasing with you, man. Totally teasing with you. Listen, give our best to Juliana and the rest of the family, and continue, guys.
Great job out there, too.
Thank you so much, man.
Thank you.
Hopefully, you know, when the COVID settles down, we can get you guys in studio one day if you're ever in Denver.
Well, count us in. We love Denver. That's where our son was born.
Bill, thank you so much, man. We'll be right back, everybody.
Okay.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
A lot of people still waiting for stimulus checks. They should soon be in the mail. But that is not true for everyone. Let's connect the dots. People who receive Social Security and other federal benefits but don't normally file a tax return should start having their stimulus payments processed this weekend. The IRS says the majority of those payments will be sent electronically and should be received by April 7th. This is welcome news because many people on Social Security have so far not received their individual $1,400 payments. So why were the checks held up? The short answer is red tape. The long answer is the Social Security Act does not allow the agency to use money for administrative work not connected to their main mission. That means they couldn't get the IRS the information it needed to send out checks, but thanks to some legal wrangling, that has now been worked out. One group left out of this good news, VA beneficiaries. The IRS says it is continuing to review data it has on people who receive veterans benefits but don't file tax returns. But it does expect to come up with a payment date soon, hopefully around mid-April.
Welcome back to DBL. We have a very special shout out to a friend of the show, Mila Jam. She's got a new single that is making its worldwide premiere today. It's called Pretty One, and in honor of International Transgender Day of Visibility, a day that's dedicated to celebrating trans people and raising awareness to all their contributions. We'd like to play some of Mila's new jam. Here's Pretty One. Yes! You introduced me to Mila Jam.
Okay, everybody should know Mila Jam, okay? We were watching a finale of a reality TV show, and we were like texting, then we got on the phone, and she told me this was dropping today. I was like, well, we got to get it on the show. Yes! So we did. I love the show because of things like this, because when we have friends of the show, they are family, and we love you, Mila. It's a great song. Especially, y'all listen for the breakdown. Because the breakdown.
So good.
Congratulations,
so good.
Mila. That's amazing.
Unbelievable. Okay, so if you're leaving us, you can watch the second half of the show on Facebook or YouTube. But if you're sticking around, here is what is coming up. A reality TV housewife is in trouble with the law. We'll tell you what the feds are accusing Jen Shah of doing. Plus, a fire chief's wife dies in a shocking house fire. Was it an accident or was she targeted? That's in True Crime Chronicles. And a big thank you to our coworkers tuning in from home right now. Hey, Kelly. DBL is new every day. We'll be right back.
DBL.
I'll just be really 100. We always pull the curtain back on this show.
The most diverse team of voices in daytime.
You know I love you, and I feel that.
We're known for our authentic take.
I'm thrilled about it.
I can't.
Yeah. You aren't shocked.
Have you guys all gone insane?
And no holds barred approach.
And that's the problem that we're talking about.
Get real.
On what everybody is talking about.
You just gave me chills. Thank you for that. I feel like you just spoke for every single viewer that is watching right now.
This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about. Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
3, 2,
Welcome to DBL. I am Sam here with Jeff and Erica. Tori joins us from home. All right, so let's get right to it because Jen Shaw, a cast member on The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, has been arrested on federal fraud charges. According to Entertainment Tonight, Jen was arrested while she and the cast were on a bus headed to Colorado for the show. She's facing charges of conspiracy to commit wire fraud and money laundering. She and an assistant allegedly defrauded hundreds of people, many who were seniors. Jen was seen leaving court in Salt Lake City yesterday. If convicted, she would face up to 30 years in prison. She isn't the only housewife, by the way, who has been in trouble with the law. New Jersey housewife Teresa Giudice spent 11.5 months in prison after being convicted of fraud back in 2014. And Real Housewife of New York Luann de Lesseps was arrested in 2017 for assaulting a police officer, disorderly intoxication, and resisting arrest. And this couple, if you remember, from the Real Housewives of D.C., were investigated after they crashed a party at the White House back in 2009. Okay, let's go back to the current case. Erica Cobb, I know you know a lot about this. What do you think about Jen Shaw?
Lord, when I heard this news yesterday, it rocked my entire world. I mean, really. And I was looking for somebody to talk to about it, and I realized I must be the only one in my circle watching Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. But let me just tell you, anytime somebody asks you what you do for a living and you do this song and dance, what basically, blah, blah, blah. Basically, she was the Chandler, like from Friends, or Tommy, like from Martin, where nobody knew what Jen Shaw do.
Really?
Nobody knows. Nobody knows. She has all these Fendi's, Gooch, Dolce, Sage. She has all the things, but no explanation for how she got them. And you know the husband, so generally it's the husband because it is Real Housewives, right? So the husband, Sharif Shaw, which Coach Shaw, first of all, protect that man at all costs. Coach Shaw has done nothing wrong. He is innocent. I tell you right now, I have never seen Coach Shaw wear anything other than university-issued athletic apparel. He has not been flexing a Gooch or a Sace. So if you leave him alone, he is innocent. But Jen, you got your day. Your day's in court. And we all watching because you know they were filming season 2. Ooh. They were filming season 2, y'all. They were filming season 2.
Do you think one of the producers told?
Yes, I think everybody's in on it. That's some good TV.
Yeah, you know, Jeff, you know how reality shows work. Clearly, if Erica, a viewer, sniffed something was off, you don't think the producers were sniffing something was off, and then Erica, and then she gets arrested while they're shooting? Come on now, Jeff.
How are you going to get my opinion after that?
Because you're the reality TV expert.
You're the expert.
But I didn't do like this type of...
Do you believe the producers sniffed it?
I don't know. I don't know what happens over there.
Okay, well, let me just give you a couple more facts. So it turns out that they were actually, she was getting her glam done by her squad, and then before she boarded the bus, apparently the feds swooped in and got her. So wouldn't that mean that somebody on the inside had to have known?
For sure.
Here's what I would say. I think another cast member might have leaked it to one of the producers, and then they might have did a story on it. I think it would have been a cast member before a producer.
Yep.
That's my
Tori, you think it was strictly the producers knowing something, or maybe she's been investigated for years, or was it a cast member?
It was 100% producers, and let me just tell you something. They were also, I heard, on a bus. So, like, the cops had to come on and, like, scoot by all the other housewives to, like, get her, and they're filming the whole time.
Erica,
this is good. You, that's like a scene from Set It Off.
Yes, so I'm super into this. But when you scam the elderly, you've reached a limit to me. You've touched like the beyond. You can do a lot of things that I can respect after you apologize or whatever. When you scam the elderly, you're out.
Yep. Exactly.
Plus, she's a terrible person. Ooh. I mean, she is a terrible person. And I don't just call people terrible people just to call people terrible people. No, for real, she is a terrible person.
Well,
she was a terrible person on the show, and then she was a terrible person off the show.
Well, she's going to get what she deserves. Mm-hmm. All right, so let's change. Let's go to the next story, shall we? Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie are racking up some pretty hefty legal bills due to their ongoing divorce. The former couple have reportedly spent $1 million each in legal fees. The couple has also hired a private judge, which can cost up to $1,000 an hour. Brad is asking for joint custody of his 5 minor children with Angelina, but she wants full custody. Their youngest kids are 12. So the battle could go on another 6 years until they turn 18. Yeah. This is so sad, Tori. This just makes me, for the children, like this, and I even feel uncomfortable speaking about it, but I know that that's what we're here to do.
No, can I be honest? I know a lot of divorce attorneys, and a lot of them say that no one wins in divorce court. It's just who gets hurt the most. And that includes the children. No one's going to win here. If she wants full custody and Brad Pitt wants 50-50, this could go on. And I have a hard time believing that $1 million is what they spent. I have a very hard time believing that's not much higher of a number. So expect this to just drag on because they can, because they got the money. It's going to be awful. The kids are going to suffer. None of this is a win-win. This is a lose-lose.
Tori, I'm going to disagree and say there is a definite winner in this. You said there are no winners. The lawyers.
Yep.
They win every time in divorce court. And they're going to drag this on until they are 18. I feel bad for Brad and Angelina. We do this story all the time. I feel bad for our show because we started off with fireworks and we saw the grand finale. And now we're just like, pew, pew.
You're right.
It's like the leftover fireworks. We should have ended with the housewife story. But Tori, you know what? I want to say something to you, Tori. Your hair looks really good. Did you do something different? You look great today.
It really does.
Jeff, okay, hold up. You didn't even notice this morning, and it broke my heart.
I was paying you a compliment on air. You didn't have to give behind the scenes.
Tori, your hair looks fantastic.
You got a compliment.
Did you get a cut?
I got a cut from Courtney, your girl. She's so good.
Oh, Sam, your hair looks terrific too. Erica, you look stunning today.
Really good.
Well, thanks,
Erica
Jeff.
always glows from
great,
within.
too.
You always look good too.
I said your hair looks good.
I know you always look good though.
Oh, I was trying to give me and Tori like a little thing because
I thought that was significant. I thought that was great.
Yeah, and then it kind of backfired. So
it was sweet.
Thank you, Jeffrey.
What do we got coming up next?
Drake.
Okay.
We're going to talk about Drake, okay? Drake was the recent target of an attempted break-in yesterday while he was at home. A woman was arrested after she attempted to break into Drake's Toronto mansion. She even allegedly attacked a security officer with a metal pipe. Now, in the past, the rapper has given tours of his $100 million pad. What? On Instagram, and pictures of the sprawling mansion have been featured in Architectural Digest. It contains 2 saunas, a massage room, screening room, sports jerseys, and a full-sized basketball court. And Drake isn't alone. Kendall Jenner reportedly had to move out of her Beverly Hills home after a man broke onto her property and attempted to swim naked in her pool. TMZ is also reporting that Kendall got a temporary restraining order against a man who threatened to kill her. Wow, that's very scary. You know, a lot of people might envy people that have money and fame, but this is the dark side to being famous and wealthy. You have to sacrifice your security, and that's terrifying.
Yeah, I mean, it's a major
$100 million home? That's ridiculous.
Well,
Sorry, go ahead.
I mean, hey, if it's a drop in the bucket, it's a drop in your bucket.
It's a big bucket.
Yeah, I think anytime somebody has their home violated in that way, anyone's in your home that shouldn't be in your home is a violation, no matter if your house is $100 or $100 million.
Right.
That's just what it is. I went through plenty of sage.
Go ahead.
Did you ever, you know, you've been very honest with our show that you had endured a break-in. Have you come to a place where you feel safe again?
I feel safe in my home, but we definitely have taken more measures than we had before. But also, I think it's very important, and I know people feel differently about this, but I took back my home right away. Like, as soon as the police left, I saged the entire house, scrubbed everything down. Like, I took ownership over my home because, as suggested, if I would have gone and stayed somewhere else, then it would have been really hard for me to come back. So
Great
I
advice.
just did it that way.
Tori, you wanted to chime in. I'm sorry.
Not at all, and I feel like such a dope being from home, being like, excuse me, Erica, I have something to say. I'm so sorry for interrupting. Quickly, I'll say, you have to be careful as a celebrity to take pictures. Kim Kardashian took a picture of that ring. The robbers in France hit that ring specifically. Drake was very open about his house. That's all I was gonna say is, keep it off social media.
That's great advice. Evie Pamporis, remember we had her on the show, former Secret Service agent, always recommended do not advertise your business, meaning like, your jewelry, what, you know.
How about Tori's Scrabble pillows in the back? Dude, if someone breaks in and sees Scrabble pillows, they're like, I'm in Tori's house.
And my crossword mug.
Nobody's breaking into her home.
You're perfectly fine.
You're good. Coming up on DBL, a mystery seared into a small community's mind after a fire chief's wife dies in a horrific inferno. Was it an accident or cold-blooded murder? That's next in True Crime Chronicles.
Closed captioning provided by
Lots of folks are talking online about foregoing COVID-19 tests after getting vaccinated, essentially celebrating the fact that they'll never have to take another test again after getting their shots. But is this sentiment in line with the official guidance? Our question is, are vaccinated people exempt from COVID-19 tests? For more, we went to the CDC and North Carolina's State Health Director, Dr. Elizabeth Tilson. It turns out the answer comes down to symptoms.
People who are fully vaccinated, which means that you're at least 14 days after your last dose. If you have any symptoms of COVID, you still should get tested. It is just people who are fully vaccinated. If they have a close contact but they don't have any symptoms, then they don't need to get tested.
But the CDC reminds even the vaccinated with no symptoms pass only goes so far. There could be additional testing requirements in certain situations and in certain states and localities. For example, it says if you were to travel internationally and come home, you'd still have to test to re-enter the country, regardless of vaccination status. So here's how we're breaking down this verify. Are vaccinated people exempt from COVID-19 tests? For an exposure with no symptoms, the answer is yes. For an exposure with symptoms, the answer is no. And for re-entry to the U.S. after travel, it's also no. With your Verify, I'm Vanessa Rufus.
Welcome back to DBL. In 2017, Nanette Krentel, the wife of a fire chief, was found dead in a house fire. Was it an accident or something more sinister? 4 years later, it remains a mystery. Here's today's True Crime Chronicles.
Nanette was a retired teacher, married to the local fire chief, Steve Krentel. The two were living in a big, beautiful home in the woods of Lacombe, a small town in St. Tammany Parish, Louisiana. Nanette loved her family, but as years went on, she became more distant, citing she was living in fear.
This is the statement she always made. As long as I have my guns and the cameras and I'm at home, I'm safe.
It was July 2017. Nanette was just 2 weeks shy of celebrating her 50th birthday. That afternoon, something happened that no one has been able to piece together.
Dad called and said, Kim, Nanette's dead. And I just, what? And just immediately started screaming, they killed her.
Nanette was found burned to death in her home in the middle of the day.
We're doing everything possible. This is tough due to the fact that it was the fire was so hot and damaged and destroyed a lot of evidence.
Someone called in the fire at 2:30 that afternoon, and Nanette's husband arrived on scene shortly after.
I'm looking forward to them piecing together what happened and trusting that they're doing their job doing that.
So what did happen? The Krentels had 9 cameras installed around their home, but the only salvageable one from the fire was outside, near the gate.
There's a security camera somewhere on this road that captured Nanette coming back to the property at 9:11 a.m. the morning she died.
There was also video evidence of her at a McDonald's drive-thru before returning home. So Could someone have followed her back? Several weapons were found next to Nanette's body, but that wasn't a surprise to her family.
She had one handgun in her purse, one in the house, one in her vehicle at all times.
What was a surprise was the way the Lacombe Police Department investigated.
And as soon as we pulled up, I pulled Kim aside. I said, this ain't right. This hasn't even, nobody's even investigated this.
Nanette's family was shocked at the scene, noticing little evidence was picked over, leaving the family to speculate. Was this fire an accident or intentional?
We've heard questions about whether it was either or, could it have been a suicide? The coroner ruled this a homicide, and that's what we're continuing to investigate it as.
Nanette's husband was cleared as a suspect, but all these years later, the case is still cold. Was someone after the fire chief's wife? The small-town Louisiana mystery is the subject of a brand new podcast, Beyond Bardstown, Lacombe, out now.
Earlier, Jeff and I spoke with the host of that new podcast. Take a look. We are joined by podcast host and WWL TV anchor and reporter Katie Moore. Katie, thank you so much for being here and bringing this story to light. So you are a journalist who's covered dozens of cold cases, but what made you want to further investigate this particular case?
You know, when it happened, it was a fire chief's wife missing in a house fire. And it was one of those things that really just sparked a lot of people's interest locally. And so from there, we started to hear about all these twists and turns involved in the investigation and what happened itself. And so it was one of those things where I thought, let's just really dig into this one. And I got to know the family pretty well. The more that I got to know them, the more that I thought, you know, this is something that needs to be brought to light.
Katie, could you tell us a little bit more about who Nanette and Steve actually were, and what do you know about their life leading up to the incident?
Nanette and Steve had an interesting relationship, one that we really got involved in and got to know very well by trying to cover this case. Nanette and Steve lived in a house that was really secluded in this part of St. Tammany Parish, which again is outside of New Orleans, and they had built this house into essentially a fortress. And so as they started to make this house more secure, adding surveillance cameras, Nanette started buying guns. Steve was helping her buy those guns. Things that really made you say, well, what was Nanette so afraid of? And there were some members of the family that Nanette had raised some concerns about to her family. And so those are some of the things that we're going to get into when we talk about it in this podcast.
Many have speculated if the fire was an accident or intentional. Now, Katie, will your podcast give listeners any new perspective?
Yeah, and you know, the fire itself was so fascinating because it started in the middle of the day, in the middle of the afternoon, which if you talk to any fire experts out there, which we talked to a number for the series, they'll tell you that people don't normally, you know, end up in a fire in the middle of the afternoon, you know, ever, unless they have for some reason, you know, unexplained circumstances that led them there. So it's very unusual for this to happen. And so you had, you know, questions about where Nanette was. And then, of course, you have the fact that this is a fire chief's house that's catching fire in the middle of the afternoon. So that's absolutely something that we're going to talk about in the podcast.
Now, Katie, you mentioned earlier that you spoke with Nanette's family, and obviously they are desperate for answers. Why do they feel like they need to put pressure on police?
You know, I think even from the very earliest hours of this happening, they started to raise questions about how the investigation into this fire was being handled. I think that they just had a lot of those things that were red flags in their minds. And so they all started to get together and say, what can we do to assist this investigation and to make sure that law enforcement and, you know, the state fire marshal's office, everybody who was involved really turned it up.
To our viewers out there, to hear the full story, listen to the brand new podcast, Bardstown, Lacombe. It's out now. You can listen on your favorite podcast player. Katie, we appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me.
We'll be right back.
Recently, I live in New York City now. I live in Queens, which has a very large Asian population. There have been reports of, just the ugliest names, the ugliest slurs. They feel like mud coming out of my mouth. But I have friends who have had rocks thrown at them when they're trying to go for a jog. It's you hear stories about a 65-year-old woman getting hit in the head. It's reached a fever pitch that is new.
DBL.
I'll just be really 100. We always pull the curtain back on this show.
The most diverse team of voices in daytime.
You know I love you, and I feel that.
We're known for our authentic take.
I'm thrilled about it.
I can't.
Yeah. You aren't shocked.
Have you guys all gone insane?
And no holds barred approach.
And that's the problem that we're talking about.
Get real.
On what everybody is talking about.
You just gave me chills. Thank you for that. I feel like you just spoke for every single viewer that is watching right now. Welcome back to DBL. It's time for Security Alert, sponsored by LifeLock. There's a big increase in gift card scams. According to the Better Business Bureau, they've nearly tripled over the past 3 years. The scammers are targeting consumers over 65 and asking them to make a payment via a gift card. Unfortunately, gift cards don't carry the same protection as credit or debit cards. So if your information has been breached, LifeLock is here to help. LifeLock keeps you and your digital identity secure from cyber criminals. Call 1-800-439-9017 or visit lifelock.com to learn more. Again, seniors are the ones are the most vulnerable.
Yeah. I was going to use my joke again, but I do think Jen Shaw has something to do with this.
Ooh.
Yeah. I mean, that's it's just an updated scam.
Yeah, I know. We will be following that story. Mark my word. We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
For a lot of people still waiting for stimulus checks, they should soon be in the mail. But that is not true for everyone. Let's connect the dots. People who receive Social Security and other federal benefits but don't normally file a tax return should start having their stimulus payments processed this weekend. The IRS says the majority of those payments will be sent electronically and should be received by April 7th. This is welcome news because many people on Social Security have so far not received their individual $1,400 payments. So why were the checks held up? The short answer is red tape. The long answer is the Social Security Act does not allow the agency to use money for administrative work not connected to their main mission. That means they couldn't get the IRS the information it needed to send out checks, but thanks to some legal wrangling, that has now been worked out. One group left out of this good news, VA beneficiaries. The IRS says it is continuing to review data it has on people who receive veterans benefits but don't file tax returns. But it does expect to come up with a payment date soon, hopefully around mid-April.
Tomorrow on DBL. Amid the rise of anti-Asian hate crimes, one journalist is sharing her emotional experience confronting a childhood bully from her past. And actor Michael Cudlitz, he's taken on a new role in the spooky Silence of the Lambs television reboot, Clarice. That's tomorrow, right here on DBL.
Ooh, we got some comments about Jen Shaw. Okay. Antoinette says Erica's take on Jen Shaw was on point. Yadira says, can we talk about Jen Shaw with that hairstyle, cultural appropriation?
I was going to say that's the most criminal part of it is what is happening on your head. You can't be doing that.
And then we have from Sylvie, that was so nice of Jeff to pay Tori a beautiful compliment.
I was texting with Tori during the break, and I said, you were a good sport yesterday, Tori. I'm going to pay you a compliment today.
Mark
Thank you.
Laughed out loud at your joke about Tori as Miles in the morning.
There was a couple stones thrown yesterday at Tori, so I had to.
You're such a good sport.
I had to repay the favor.
Mm-hmm. Any more Jen Shaw?
You know what's funny?
Oh. No, go Tori.
Wow, Sam just totally ignored you.
No, go Tori.
No. I'm just saying the pandemic is awful for so many reasons, but working from home, I don't know, the delay, Jeff and Erica, they get it. It's really just the worst thing ever. So I can't wait to fight with you all in person.
The worst would be not working.
Yes, we're very lucky.
You got it on that
every day. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye, guys.
DBL.
I'll just be really 100. We always pull the curtain back on this show.
The most diverse team of voices in daytime.
You know I love you, and I feel that.
We're known for our authentic take.
I'm thrilled about it.
I can't.
You aren't shocked.
Have you guys all gone insane?
And no holds barred approach.
And that's the problem that we're talking about.
Get real.
On what everybody is talking about.
You just gave me chills. Thank you for that. I feel like you just spoke for every single viewer that is watching right now. Talking about today on Daily Blast Live.
The murder trial for Derek Chauvin continues as a firefighter who tried to help George Floyd takes the stand, giving powerful testimony.
If he doesn't have a pulse, you need to start compressions.
In today's True Crime Chronicles, a fire chief's wife dies when her house goes up in flames. Was it an accident or a cold-blooded murder? Britney Spears breaks her silence, her thoughts on the controversial Framing Britney documentary. And housewives behaving badly, why another cast member from the franchise is now facing charges.
Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
3, 2,
Welcome to DBL. It is Wednesday, March 31st. I am Sam here with Jeff and Erica. Tori joins us from home. Let's get right to it because more emotional testimony at the trial of Derek Chauvin in Minnesota. This off-duty Minneapolis firefighter and paramedic got choked up as she recalled how she begged to help George Floyd when she believed he was dying on the street. Take a look.
There was no medical assistance on scene, and I got there and I could have given medical assistance. That's exactly what I should have done. I also offered, in my memory, I offered to walk them through it or told them, if he doesn't have a pulse, you need to start compressions, and that wasn't done either.
Things got heated between she and Derek Chauvin's defense attorney. That led the judge to step in. Take a look.
And would you describe other people's demeanors as upset or angry?
I don't know if you've seen anybody be killed, but it's upsetting.
You will not argue with the court. You will not argue with counsel.
Mm-hmm.
They have the right to ask questions. Your job is to answer them.
I was finishing my answer.
I will determine when your answer is done.
Okay, well.
And so, do not argue with the court. Do not argue with counsel. Answer the questions. Do not volunteer information that is not requested.
Another witness who testified yesterday was a 9-year-old girl who talked about how she felt witnessing what happened to George Floyd.
I was sad and kind of mad.
And tell us, why were you sad and mad?
Because it felt like he was stopping his breathing, and it's kind of like hurting him.
Wow. All right. So, DBL Nation, we always want to hear from you. What did you think of all this testimony? And Erica, what were your thoughts, A, of the testimony, but also having this 9-year-old girl testify?
Well, the 9-year-old was a witness, and she has her truth, and her truth needs to be heard just like any adult's truth. I think that people make a mistake to think that children don't understand or can articulate what they've experienced. This might have also been very cathartic for her, and I hope that she's getting some therapy. I was really confused about how overzealous the judge seemed to be going after the witness on the stand. And to me, like, it didn't sound like she was, because this isn't the totality of her testimony, it sounded like she was just answering in a question like, I don't know if you've ever seen someone lose their life, but it's very upsetting. I don't understand where all of the extra was coming from.
Yeah, I think the judge just had to take control. I think emotions are very high in this case, and for the next couple weeks it's going to go on. So I think he has to take control of the courtroom right now. But I want to focus more about the 9-year-old little girl. I mean, you mentioned it's cathartic, and I hope it is for her. I'm just worried about the trauma that she witnessed, the trauma of going through all this, because of a lot of things that happen to you later on in life stem back to when you were a child, right? So I hope she's getting the therapy that she needs. I hope she takes this all in stride and it doesn't affect the rest of her life.
Yeah, Tori, you know the legal system more than any of us. What did you make of not only, having the 9-year-old testify, and I agree with Jeff and Erica, but also the reaction of that judge? Was that customary in your opinion?
I think it was the judge showing that he was in control, but I also want to point out how important the crowd's reaction is to this case. So both the defense and the prosecution want to focus on the crowd. Now, one side wants to say they were really upset and worried that someone was going to die, and that was clear. And the other side is saying they were very angry, and because they were angry, police had to take a harder stance. So when she offered a little bit of her own testimony of thoughts, he kind of stepped in. Did I think it was too much? Absolutely. I think he should have backed off. But know that both the prosecution and defense needs that crowd for different reasons, and that's why those witnesses are so important. And may I just say, just like you guys all said, that 9-year-old, we need her. We need her testimony like Ruby Bridges needed to go to school. We need her because if a 9-year-old could see that this man was being hurt, then a police officer should have known as well.
Well said, Tori. And in fact, we're getting comments saying that, testifying is too traumatic for a 9-year-old. Well, I think witnessing a man die is too traumatic for a 9-year-old.
And there are land hearings for that. There's a determination if a child can go before the court or not and advocate for themselves or others.
Well said.
Just so you know.
Okay, so we have some good news and some not so good news about the pandemic. Let's start with the good news, shall we? Pfizer just announced results from its clinical trials showing that its vaccine is 100% effective and well tolerated in kids ages 12 to 15. Now on to some bad news. Doctors are saying the next surge isn't on the horizon, but it's already here as COVID-19 cases are rising in 27 states. Some are wondering if this new fourth wave could lead to another lockdown, like the one we had last spring. So the question is, in DBL Nation, I'm always reading your comments. Are you ready for another lockdown? What would you say, Jeff?
No, absolutely not. I think we know a lot more than the start of the pandemic, and I think we've learned that being outside with the UV rays, it helps not spread the cause of this virus. Vitamin D is very good for your body and in protecting yourself against this virus. So I think a lockdown is a complete mistake. Being inside, indoors with people who are spreading this virus, being outside is the answer to taming this virus. So a lockdown, absolutely not.
I think it's going to contribute to more policing each other. Like there's going to be this communal.
More?
Yes, I really do, because people, now we have this whole demographic who have been vaccinated and people who haven't been, people who have been playing by the rules and people who haven't been. But the idea that some people are like, wow, I have newfound freedom, I want to go out and live my life, is going to create more policing of each other within our communities.
I'm all for that. And before, I remember when Tori said on the show that she's going to ask for a vaccine card. I am right there with you now, Tori. I'm serious. I'm not going to risk my husband or my child or children. I forget that I have two. Isn't that funny? It's even though Miles is a year old, I forget that I have two. But I'm not going to risk it. I'm going to hang out with people that are vaccinated.
And Tori, I want you to jump in too. But what if they lift the mask mandate, right? And there are people over policing. Okay, I'm with you. I don't like when people point out other people just to be that person to tell someone what to do. But if they lift the mask mandate and you don't technically have to wear a mask and you are vaccinated, who is someone to come out and point out your business, what's going on? Do you know what I'm saying? So you said it's going to over-police. That's going to cause problems if people try to over-police when they're like, show me your vaccine card. It's like, no, lady, who are you?
I would never ask a stranger, show me your vaccine card.
No, but people do. People are taking authority upon themselves.
But if I'm going to have a get-together, I'm going to have a get-together with people that are vaccinated only. That's just my point. Tori.
No, that's the consequence you take. If you don't want to be vaccinated, that's your choice right now, but that means that you ain't coming to my house, and my house is off the hook.
Tori, none of us have been to your house, and that was way before the pandemic. So you can just hook that back up, because that is not true.
She used the pandemic as an excuse why she has no one over.
I know. I want to go to Erica's karaoke lounge.
Oh,
is that what I can call it?
It's the Cobb Karaoke Club. It's in the basement. We got the big disco ball, some stream lighting.
You sing our song.
Yep, that's right. Shoop. I was shooping this weekend.
Yep.
We got 2 mics, y'all.
Ooh, girl. I know Jeff's song. Can I tell the viewers?
Yeah, of course.
Jeff's song is Digital Underground, the Humpty Hump.
Wow, you even like you were filling out the card, Digital Underground.
I know.
You knew the name too.
Of course.
That's pretty. You get bonus points.
You don't think I know who Digital Underground is?
I'm giving you a compliment.
Okay. It feels like that you don't have faith in me, that I'm not cool.
Well.
Did you guys see Jeff's face? All right, coming up on DBL, a real housewife is in trouble with the feds. Why would she invite cameras in knowing she might be up to something shady?
Good question, Sam.
Okay, Erica has something to say about that. Plus, former reality TV star and businessman Bill Rancic, he's telling Jeff about his new mission to help patients beat cancer after his wife Juliana's brave battle. And Britney Spears is finally reacting to that explosive documentary about her financial situation. What she's saying next.
Closed captioning provided by
folks are talking online about foregoing COVID-19 tests after getting vaccinated, essentially celebrating the fact that they'll never have to take another test again after getting their shots. But is this sentiment in line with the official guidance? Our question is, are vaccinated people exempt from COVID-19 tests? For more, we went to the CDC and North Carolina's State Health Director, Dr. Elizabeth Tilson. It turns out the answer comes down to symptoms.
For people who are fully vaccinated, which means that you're at least 14 days after your last dose, if you have any symptoms of COVID, you still should get tested. It is just people who are fully vaccinated. If they have a close contact but they don't have any symptoms, then they don't need to get tested.
But the CDC reminds even the vaccinated with no symptoms pass only goes so far. There could be additional testing requirements in certain situations and in certain states and localities. For example, it says if you were to travel internationally and come home, you'd still have to test to re-enter the country, regardless of vaccination status. So here's how we're breaking down this verify. Are vaccinated people exempt from COVID-19 tests? For an exposure with no symptoms, the answer is yes. For an exposure with symptoms, the answer is no. And for re-entry to the U.S. after travel, it's also no. With your Verify, I'm Vanessa Rufus.
Welcome back to DBL. There are our co-workers tuning in from home during the pandemic. Keep up the great work, everyone. So Britney Spears has spoken, or broken her silence rather, about a controversial documentary exploring her life in the spotlight. Britney posted a lengthy message on Instagram yesterday, along with a video of her dancing. She wrote that she didn't watch the New York Times doc called Framing Britney Spears, but said from what she had seen of it, she was embarrassed by the light they put her in and ended up crying for 2 weeks. She felt judged and exposed her whole life, and she just needs to dance to keep her sanity and to feel human and alive. Page Six is also reporting that Britney's father has filed legal papers requesting the singer pay more than $3 million in legal fees due to their ongoing conservatorship battle. Wow. You know, I thought that Britney Spears would be relieved to have her story out. And a month or so ago, when this, first came to light, I called one of her main backup dancers, who's a really good friend of mine, and I asked him to come on the show and speak about it. He said, absolutely not. Britney would be horrified. He said, I was asked to also do that documentary. There was a backup dancer in that documentary. It was not him, the person I'm speaking of. And he said, and she's really upset that people that love her and know her are speaking for her. So this just goes to show, even though there's many people advocating for her, that this is traumatizing for her, and she does not have a voice still.
Yeah, and she's very much in it on top of it, which always makes the story or the subject a very tricky one to navigate. I just watched the Tina documentary on Tina Turner on HBO Max, and that put things into perspective for me a lot, because she was really trying to get under that I've been abused, by Ike Turner thing. She had this major comeback, and every time she made an attempt to put it out there so that it would go away, then people would take the story, own her narrative. She didn't have ownership over it, so she tried to do it herself. And what she kept saying was, I don't like to visit that part of I want to be happy. I don't want to be living in my trauma. And every time something comes up about Britney Spears, it forces the person to live in their trauma. So how is that fair to anyone?
Was Tina in the documentary that you're speaking of?
Yes, she was.
So I like that, okay? I always say this, Tiger Woods wasn't in his documentary. They could say whatever they want. Britney Spears wasn't in hers. They could say whatever they want. But I want to hear from the person. I want to hear from Tina Turner what Tina's experiences were like. Not to sensationalize a story and try to sell more copies or newspaper articles or whatever it may be. I like when people are in it. So I get Britney on this side saying, that's not my truth. You might think it is, but it's not.
Right. And, you know, she allegedly can't speak her truth, you know, to that conservatorship and everything that she's gone through with her dad. And to now hear that her dad allegedly is suing her for $3 million, if that's true, that just proves the egregiousness of their relationship and his protection, I say that in quotes, of his daughter.
I would imagine it being a lot different at 39, I think Britney Spears is, than 79 when Tina Turner sat down to really finally open up. So, I mean, she's very much in it. These are all things that are happening in real time.
Right. I know. Gosh, I just hope that we can hear from Britney herself one day. And let me tell you, we stand with you, Britney. Coming up on DBL, Brad and Angelina's never-ending divorce drama. Why their relationship is still on the rocks years after filing the papers. And one-on-one with Bill Rancic, from life with Juliana to what he's learned since winning The Apprentice nearly 20 years ago. Don't miss it. That's coming up next.
Recently, I live in New York City now. I live in Queens, which has a very large Asian population. There have been reports of, I mean, just the ugliest names, the ugliest slurs, like they feel like mud coming out of my mouth. But, you know, I have friends who have had rocks thrown at them when they're trying to go for a jog. It's you know, you hear stories about a 65-year-old woman getting hit in the head. It's reached a fever pitch that is new.
DBL.
I'll just be really 100. We always pull the curtain back on this show.
The most diverse team of voices in daytime.
You know I love you, and I feel that.
We're known for our authentic take.
I'm thrilled about it.
I can't.
You aren't shocked.
Have you guys all gone insane?
And no holds barred approach.
And that's the problem that we're talking about.
Get real.
On what everybody is talking about.
You just gave me chills. Thank you for that. I feel like you just spoke for every single viewer that is watching right now.
Welcome back to DBL. Bill Rancic is the first reality show contestant to hear the words, "You hired," from Donald Trump. Was that a good one, Rob? No. Well, now Bill's his own boss, advocating for cancer care. Earlier, he opened up about his wife Juliana's battle with the diagnosis in today's Chatting with the Stars. Bill Rancic, welcome to Daily Blast Live. As the first winner of The Apprentice, you were part of reality TV history. What did you learn from your former boss and president, and when was the last time you spoke with him?
Well, you know, it was funny. When I did The Apprentice, you know, reality TV was in its infancy. You know, lo and behold, it was one of the most highly rated shows of that year. So for me, it was an opportunity of a lifetime, and it helped me go on to do other great things. You know, through that experience, I met my wife, Juliana, as well.
What was it like, you know, getting interviewed by Juliana after you were winning The Apprentice, and then somehow you started talking about kids, marriage, your zodiac sign? You asked her out on a date. Was that love at first sight right there, Bill?
What do you look for in a girl?
I mean, I want someone who's fun and, you know, exciting, and you know, someone you can share your life with, someone who's, you know, into adventure. You know, she was interviewing me, ironically enough. I was out promoting one of the, I think it was season 3, because I became a judge on the show, and, you know, I knew that she was a runner, and after the interview, I worked up enough courage to ask her if she wanted to go for a run sometime. And she kind of looked at me funny, and she paused, and she said, "How about dinner instead?" And that was it. It was love at first sight. We were engaged like 10 or 11 months later, and we've been together over 15 years now, and we have an 8-year-old son named Duke.
Back in 2011, Juliana was diagnosed with cancer, but now she's back on that same red carpet, Bill.
I mean, come on.
What's the latest on Juliana's cancer recovery right now?
Well, she's been cancer-free, thank God, and you know, certainly she has used this negative and turned it into a positive. And through showcasing her cancer journey on the Juliana and Bill show, we were able to, you know, really inspire a lot of people to go out and get mammograms or give self-exams, whatever the case may be.
Bill, what was it like for you? Because everyone always asks about Juliana. What was it like for you caring for a spouse with cancer? Were you scared at any point?
You know, when you're a caregiver, it's funny, you wear a lot of different hats. But I think the most important role I played was helping Juliana make decisions based on knowledge rather than decisions based on emotion.
That's great advice, Bill. Now, you're currently promoting the C3 Prize. People from all over the world submitted their best ideas about improving cancer care. What else can you tell us about this challenge, Bill?
Well, it's the C3 Prize, and we've been doing it for 5 years now, and it stands for Changing Cancer Care. And our mission is really to improve the life of those people who are impacted by cancer beyond the medicine component.
We want to recognize all of the innovators who submitted their ideas to change cancer care this year.
I needed to join this movement because Juliana and I started this 10 years ago, and I wanted to keep moving it forward.
Thank you so much for talking to us today. You answered so many great questions, but I got to be honest, Bill, you didn't answer the one about when the last time you talked to the president was.
Oh, you know what? He's been pretty busy, and you know, I've been letting him do his job, and I've been focusing on and helping people with the cancer. So anyone who wants to join this movement, they can go to c3prize.com and join the movement.
Bill, you're a genius with the answers. I was only teasing you, man. You're doing something way better. So, Bill Rancic, thank you so much for joining us on Daily Blast.
I know you
Live.
were. I know.
Totally teasing with you, man. Totally teasing with you. Listen, give our best to Juliana and the rest of the family, and continue, guys.
Great job out there, too.
Thank you so much, man. Hopefully, you know, when the COVID settles down, we can get you guys in studio one day if you're ever in Denver.
Well, count us in. We love Denver. That's where our son was born.
Bill, thank you so much, man. We'll be right back, everybody.
Okay.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
For a lot of people still waiting for stimulus checks, they should soon be in the mail. But that is not true for everyone. Let's connect the dots. People who receive Social Security and other federal benefits but don't normally file a tax return should start having their stimulus payments processed this weekend. The IRS says the majority of those payments will be sent electronically and should be received by April 7th. This is welcome news because many people on Social Security have so far not received their individual $1,400 payments. So why were the checks held up? The short answer is red tape. The long answer is the Social Security Act does not allow the agency to use money for administrative work not connected to their main mission. That means they couldn't get the IRS the information it needed to send out checks, but thanks to some legal wrangling, that has now been worked out. One group left out of this good news, VA beneficiaries. The IRS says it is continuing to review data it has on people who receive veterans benefits but don't file tax returns. But it does expect to come up with a payment date soon, hopefully around mid-April.
Welcome back to DBL. We have a very special shout out to a friend of the show, Mila Jam. She's got a new single that is making its worldwide premiere today. It's called Pretty One, and in honor of International Transgender Day of Visibility, a day that's dedicated to celebrating trans people and raising awareness to all their contributions, we'd like to play some of Mila's new jam. Here's Pretty One. Yes! You introduced me to Mila Jam.
Okay, everybody should know Mila Jam, okay? We were watching the finale of a reality TV show, and we were like texting, then we got on the phone, and she told me this was dropping today. I was like, well, we got to get it on the show. Yes. So we did. I love the show because of things like this, because when we have friends of the show, they are family, and we love you, Mila. It's a great song. Especially, y'all listen for the breakdown. Because the breakdown.
So good.
Congratulations,
so good.
Mila. That's amazing.
Unbelievable. Okay, so if you're leaving us, you can watch the second half of the show on Facebook or YouTube. But if you're sticking around, here is what is coming up. A reality TV housewife is in trouble with the law. We'll tell you what the feds are accusing Jen Shah of doing. Plus, a fire chief's wife dies in a shocking house fire. Was it an accident or was she targeted? That's in True Crime Chronicles. And a big thank you to our coworkers tuning in from home right now. Hey, Kelly. DBL is new every day. We'll be right back. Pull the curtain back on this show.
The most diverse team of voices in daytime.
You know I love you, and I feel that.
We're known for our authentic take.
I'm thrilled about it.
I can't.
Yeah. You aren't shocked.
Have you guys all gone insane?
And no holds barred approach.
And that's the problem that we're talking about.
Get real.
On what everybody is talking about.
You just gave me chills. Thank you for that. I feel like you just spoke for every single viewer that is watching right now.
This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about. Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
3, 2,
Welcome to DBL. I am Sam here with Jeff and Erica. Tori joins us from home. All right, so let's get right to it because Jen Shaw, a cast member on The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, has been arrested on federal fraud charges. According to Entertainment Tonight, Jen was arrested while she and the cast were on a bus headed to Colorado for the show. She's facing charges of conspiracy to commit wire fraud and money laundering. She and an assistant allegedly defrauded hundreds of people, many who were seniors. Jen was seen leaving court in Salt Lake City yesterday. If convicted, she would face up to 30 years in prison. She isn't the only housewife, by the way, who has been in trouble with the law. New Jersey housewife Teresa Giudice spent 11.5 months in prison after being convicted of fraud back in 2014. And Real Housewife of New York Luann de Lesseps was arrested in 2017 for assaulting a police officer, disorderly intoxication, and resisting arrest. And this couple, if you remember from the Real Housewives of D.C., were investigated after they crashed a party at the White House back in 2009. Okay, let's go back to the current case. Erica Cobb, I know you know a lot about this. What do you think about Jen Shaw?
Lord, when I heard this news yesterday, it rocked my entire world. I mean, really. And I was looking for somebody to talk to about it, and I realized I must be the only one in my circle watching Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. But let me just tell you, anytime somebody asks you what you do for a living and you do this song and dance, what basically, blah, blah, blah. Basically, she was the Chandler, like from Friends, or Tommy, like from Martin, where nobody knew what Jen Shaw do.
Really?
Nobody knows. Nobody knows. She has all these Fendi's, Gooch, Dolce, Sage. She has all the things, but no explanation for how she got them. And you know the husband, so generally it's the husband because it is Real Housewives, right? So the husband, Sharif Shaw, which Coach Shaw, first of all, protect that man at all costs. Coach Shaw has done nothing wrong. He is innocent. I tell you right now, I have never seen Coach Shaw wear anything other than university-issued athletic apparel. He has not been flexing a Gooch or a Sace. So if you leave him alone, he is innocent. But Jen, you got your day. Your day's in court. And we all watching because you know they were filming season 2. Ooh. They were filming season 2, y'all. They were filming season 2.
Do you think one of the producers told?
Yes, I think everybody's in on it. That's some good TV.
Yeah, you know, Jeff, you know how reality shows work. Clearly, if Erica, a viewer, sniffed something was off, you don't think the producers were sniffing something was off, and then Erica, and then she gets arrested while they're shooting? Come on now, Jeff.
How are you going to get my opinion after that?
Because you're the reality TV expert.
You're the expert.
But I didn't do like this type of...
Do you believe the producers sniffed it?
I don't know. I don't know what happens over there.
Okay, well, let me just give you a couple more facts. So it turns out that they were actually, she was getting her glam done by her squad, and then before she boarded the bus, apparently the feds swooped in and got her. So wouldn't that mean that somebody on the inside had to have known?
For sure.
Here's what I would say. I think another cast member might have leaked it to one of the producers, and then they might have did a story on it. I think it would have been a cast member before a producer.
Yep.
That's my
Tori, you think it was strictly the producers knowing something, or maybe she's been investigated for years, or was it a cast member?
It was 100% producers, and let me just tell you something. They were also, I heard, on a bus. So, like, the cops had to come on and, like, scoot by all the other housewives to, like, get her, and they're filming the whole time.
Erica,
this is good. You, that's like a scene from Set It Off.
Yes, so I'm super into this. But when you scam the elderly, you've reached a limit to me. You've touched like the beyond. You can do a lot of things that I can respect after you apologize or whatever. When you scam the elderly, you're out.
Yep. Exactly.
Plus, she's a terrible person. Ooh. I mean, she is a terrible person. And I don't just call people terrible people just to call people terrible people. No, for real, she is a terrible person.
Well,
she was a terrible person on the show, and then she was a terrible person off the show.
Well, she's going to get what she deserves. All right, so let's change. Let's go to the next story, shall we? Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie are racking up some pretty hefty legal bills due to their ongoing divorce. The former couple have reportedly spent $1 million each in legal fees. The couple has also hired a private judge, which can cost up to $1,000 an hour. Brad is asking for joint custody of his 5 minor children with Angelina, but she wants full custody. Their youngest kids are 12. So the battle could go on another 6 years until they turn 18. Yeah. This is so sad, Tori. This just makes me, for the children, like this, and I even feel uncomfortable speaking about it, but I know that that's what we're here to do.
No, can I be honest? I know a lot of divorce attorneys, and a lot of them say that no one wins in divorce court. It's just who gets hurt the most. And that includes the children. No one's going to win here. If she wants full custody and Brad Pitt wants 50-50, this could go on. And I have a hard time believing that $1 million is what they spend. I have a very hard time believing that's not much higher of a number. So expect this to just drag on because they can, because they got the money. It's going to be awful. The kids are going to suffer. None of this is a win-win. This is a lose-lose.
Tori, I'm going to disagree and say there is a definite winner in this. You said there are no winners. The lawyers.
Yep.
They win every time in divorce court. And they're going to drag this on until they are 18. I feel bad for Brad and Angelina. We do this story all the time. I feel bad for our show because we started off with fireworks and we saw the grand finale, and now we're just like, pew, pew.
You're right.
It's like the leftover fireworks. We should have ended with the housewife story. But Tori, you know what? I want to say something to you, Tori. Your hair looks really good. Did you do something different? You look great today.
It really does.
Jeff, okay, hold up. You didn't even notice this morning, and it broke my heart.
I was paying you a compliment on air. You didn't have to give behind the scenes.
Tori, your hair looks fantastic.
You got a compliment.
Did you get a cut?
I got a cut from Courtney, your girl. She's so good.
Oh, Sam, your hair looks terrific too. Erica, you look stunning today.
Really good.
Well, thanks.
Erica always glows from within.
Too.
You always look good too.
I said your hair looks good.
I know you always look good though.
Oh, I was trying to give me and Tori like a little thing because
I thought that was significant. I thought that was great.
Yeah, and then it kind of backfired. So
it was sweet.
Thank you, Jeffrey.
What do we got coming up next?
Drake.
Okay.
We're going to talk about Drake, okay? Drake was the recent target of an attempted break-in yesterday while he was at home. A woman was arrested after she attempted to break into Drake's Toronto mansion. She even allegedly attacked a security officer with a metal pipe. Now, in the past, the rapper has given tours of his $100 million pad. What? On Instagram, and pictures of the sprawling mansion have been featured in Architectural Digest. It contains 2 saunas, a massage room, screening room, sports jerseys, and a full-sized basketball court. And Drake isn't alone. Kendall Jenner reportedly had to move out of her Beverly Hills home after a man broke onto her property and attempted to swim naked in her pool. TMZ is also reporting that Kendall got a temporary restraining order against a man who threatened to kill her. Wow, that's very scary. You know, a lot of people might envy people that have money and fame, but this is the dark side to being famous and wealthy. You have to sacrifice your security, and that's terrifying.
Yeah, I mean, it's a major
$100 million home? That's ridiculous.
Well,
Sorry, go ahead.
I mean, hey, if it's a drop in the bucket, it's a drop in your bucket.
It's a big bucket.
Yeah, I think anytime somebody has their home violated in that way, anyone's in your home that shouldn't be in your home is a violation, no matter if your house is $100 or $100 million.
Right.
That's just what it is. I went through plenty of sage.
Oh, go ahead.
Did you ever, you know, you've been very honest with our show that you had endured a break-in. Have you come to a place where you feel safe again?
I feel safe in my home, but we definitely have taken more measures than we had before. But also, I think it's very important, and I know people feel differently about this, but I took back my home right away. Like, as soon as the police left, I saged the entire house, scrubbed everything down. Like, I took ownership over my home because, as suggested, if I would have gone and stayed somewhere else, then it would have been really hard for me to come back. So I just did it that way.
Tori, you wanted to chime in. I'm sorry.
Not at all, and I feel like such a dope being from home, being like, excuse me, Erica, I have something to say. I'm so sorry for interrupting. Quickly, I'll say, you have to be careful as a celebrity to take pictures. Kim Kardashian took a picture of that ring. The robbers in France hit that ring specifically. Drake was very open about his house. That's all I was going to say is keep it off social media.
That's great advice. Evie Pomporis, remember we had her on the show, former Secret Service agent, always recommended do not advertise your business, meaning like your jewelry, what, you know.
How about Tori's Scrabble pillows in the back? Dude, if someone breaks in and sees Scrabble pillows, they're like, I'm in Tori's house.
And my crossword crossword mug. My crossword mug.
Nobody's breaking into her home.
You're perfectly fine.
You're good. Coming up on DBL, a mystery seared into a small community's mind after a fire chief's wife dies in a horrific inferno. Was it an accident or cold-blooded murder? That's next in True Crime Chronicles.
Closed captioning provided by
Lots of folks are talking online about foregoing COVID-19 tests after getting vaccinated, essentially celebrating the fact that they'll never have to take another test again after getting their shots. But is this sentiment in line with the official guidance? Our question is, are vaccinated people exempt from COVID-19 tests? For more, we went to the CDC and North Carolina's State Health Director, Dr. Elizabeth Tilson. It turns out the answer comes down to symptoms.
So people who are fully vaccinated, which means that you're at least 14 days after your last dose. If you have any symptoms of COVID, you still should get tested. It is just people who are fully vaccinated. If they have a close contact but they don't have any symptoms, then they don't need to get tested.
But the CDC reminds even the vaccinated with no symptoms pass only goes so far. There could be additional testing requirements in certain situations and in certain states and localities. For example, it says if you were to travel internationally and come home, you'd still have to test to re-enter the country, regardless of vaccination status. So here's how we're breaking down this verify. Are vaccinated people exempt from COVID-19 tests? For an exposure with no symptoms, the answer is yes. For an exposure with symptoms, the answer is no. And for re-entry to the U.S. after travel, it's also no. With your Verify, I'm Vanessa Rufus.
Welcome back to DBL. In 2017, Nanette Krentel, the wife of a fire chief, was found dead in a house fire. Was it an accident or something more sinister? 4 years later, it remains a mystery. Here's today's True Crime Chronicles.
Nanette was a retired teacher, married to the local fire chief, Steve Krentel. The two were living in a big, beautiful home in the woods of Lacombe, a small town in St. Tammany Parish, Louisiana. Nanette loved her family, but as years went on, she became more distant, citing she was living in fear.
This is a statement she always made. As long as I have my guns and the cameras and I'm at home, I'm safe.
It was July 2017. Nanette was just 2 weeks shy of celebrating her 50th birthday. That afternoon, something happened that no one has been able to piece together.
Dad called and said, Kim, Nanette's dead. And I just, what? And just immediately started screaming, they killed her.
Nanette was found burned to death in her home in the middle of the day.
We're doing everything possible. This is tough due to the fact that the fire was so hot and damaged and destroyed a lot of evidence.
Someone called in the fire at 2:30 that afternoon, and Nanette's husband arrived on scene shortly after.
I'm looking forward to them piecing together what happened and trusting that they're doing their job doing that.
So what did happen? The Krentels had 9 cameras installed around their home, but the only salvageable one from the fire was outside, near the gate.
There's a security camera somewhere on this road that captured Nanette
coming back to the property at 9:11 a.m. the morning she died.
There was also video evidence of her at a McDonald's drive-thru before returning home. So, could someone have followed her back? Several weapons were found next to Nanette's body, but that wasn't a surprise to her family.
She had one handgun in her purse, one in the house, one in her vehicle at all times.
What was a surprise was the way the Lacombe Police Department investigated.
And as soon as we pulled up, I pulled Kim aside. I said, this ain't right. This hasn't even, nobody's even investigated this.
Nanette's family was shocked at the scene, noticing little evidence was picked over, leaving the family to speculate. Was this fire an accident or intentional?
We've heard questions about whether it was either or, could it have been a suicide? The coroner ruled this a homicide, and that's what we're continuing to investigate it as.
Nanette's husband was cleared as a suspect, but all these years later, the case is still cold. Was someone after the fire chief's wife? The small-town Louisiana mystery is the subject of a brand new podcast, Beyond Bardstown, Lacombe, out now.
Earlier, Jeff and I spoke with the host of that new podcast. Take a look. We are joined by podcast host and WWL TV anchor and reporter Katie Moore. Katie, thank you so much for being here and bringing this story to light. So you are a journalist who's covered dozens of cold cases, but what made you want to further investigate this particular case?
You know, when it happened, it was a fire chief's wife missing in a house fire. And it was one of those things that really just sparked a lot of people's interest locally. And so from there, we started to hear about all these twists and turns involved in the investigation and what happened itself. And so it was one of those things where I thought, let's just really dig into this one. And I got to know the family pretty well. The more that I got to know them, the more that I thought, you know, this is something that needs to be brought to light.
Katie, could you tell us a little bit more about who Nanette and Steve actually were, and what do you know about their life leading up to the incident?
Nanette and Steve had an interesting relationship, one that we really got involved in and got to know very well by trying to cover this case. Nanette and Steve lived in a house that was really secluded in this part of St. Tammany Parish, which again is outside of New Orleans, and they had built this house into essentially a fortress. And so as they started to make this house more secure, adding surveillance cameras, Nanette started buying guns. Steve was helping her buy those guns. Things that really made you say, well, what was Nanette so afraid of? And there were some members of the family that Nanette had raised some concerns about to her family. And so those are some of the things that we're going to get into when we talk about it in this podcast.
Many have speculated if the fire was an accident or intentional. Now, Katie, will your podcast give listeners any new perspective?
Yeah, and you know, the fire itself was so fascinating because it started in the middle of the day, in the middle of the afternoon, which if you talk to any fire experts out there, which we talked to a number for the series, they'll tell you that people don't normally, you know, end up in a fire in the middle of the afternoon, you know, ever, unless they have for some reason, you know, unexplained circumstances that led them there. So it's very unusual for this to happen. And so you had, you know, questions about where Nanette was. And then, of course, you have the fact that this is a fire chief's house that's catching fire in the middle of the afternoon. So that's absolutely something that we're going to talk about in the podcast.
Now, Katie, you mentioned earlier that you spoke with Nanette's family, and obviously they are desperate for answers. Why do they feel like they need to put pressure on police?
You know, I think even from the very earliest hours of this happening, they started to raise questions about how the investigation into this fire was being handled. I think that they just had a lot of those things that were red flags in their minds. And so they all started to get together and say, what can we do to assist this investigation and to make sure that law enforcement and, you know, the state fire marshal's office, everybody who was involved really turned it up.
To our viewers out there, to hear the full story, listen to the brand new podcast, Bardstown, Lacombe. It's out now. You can listen on your favorite podcast player. Katie, we appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me.
We'll be right back.
We all know that.
I live in New York City now. I live in Queens, which has a very large Asian population. There have been reports of, just the ugliest names, the ugliest slurs. They feel like mud coming out of my mouth. But, I have friends who have had rocks thrown at them when they're trying to go for a jog. It's you hear stories about a 65-year-old woman getting hit in the head. It's reached a fever pitch that is new.
DBL.
I'll just be really 100. We always pull the curtain back on this show.
The most diverse team of voices in daytime.
You know I love you, and I feel that.
We're known for our authentic take.
I'm thrilled about it.
I can't.
Yeah. You aren't shocked.
Have you guys all gone insane?
And no holds barred approach.
And that's the problem that we're talking about.
Get real.
On what everybody is talking about.
You just gave me chills. Thank you for that. I feel like you just spoke for every single viewer that is watching right now. Welcome back to DBL. It's time for Security Alert, sponsored by LifeLock. There's a big increase in gift card scams. According to the Better Business Bureau, they've nearly tripled over the past 3 years. The scammers are targeting consumers over 65 and asking them to make a payment via a gift card. Unfortunately, gift cards don't carry the same protection as credit or debit cards. So if your information has been breached, LifeLock is here to help. LifeLock keeps you and your digital identity secure from cyber criminals. Call 1-800-439-9017 or visit lifelock.com to learn more. Again, seniors are the ones are the most vulnerable.
Yeah. I was going to use my joke again, but I do think Jen Shaw has something to do with this.
Ooh.
Yeah. I mean, that's like, it's just an updated scam.
Yeah, I know. We will be following that story. Mark my word. We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
For a lot of people still waiting for stimulus checks, they should soon be in the mail. But that is not true for everyone. Let's connect the dots. People who receive Social Security and other federal benefits but don't normally file a tax return should start having their stimulus payments processed this weekend. The IRS says the majority of those payments will be sent electronically and should be received by April 7th. This is welcome news because many people on Social Security have so far not received their individual $1,400 payments. So why were the checks held up? The short answer is red tape. The long answer is the Social Security Act does not allow the agency to use money for administrative work not connected to their main mission. That means they couldn't get the IRS the information it needed to send out checks, but thanks to some legal wrangling, that has now been worked out. One group left out of this good news, VA beneficiaries. The IRS says it is continuing to review data it has on people who receive veterans benefits but don't file tax returns. But it does expect to come up with a payment date soon, hopefully around mid-April.
Tomorrow on DBL. Amid the rise of anti-Asian hate crimes, one journalist is sharing her emotional experience confronting a childhood bully from her past. And actor Michael Cudlitz, he's taken on a new role in the spooky Silence of the Lambs television reboot, Clarice. That's tomorrow, right here on DBL.
Ooh, we got some comments about Jen Shaw. Okay. Antoinette says Erica's take on Jen Shaw was on point. Yadira says, can we talk about Jen Shaw with that hairstyle, cultural appropriation?
I was going to say that's the most criminal part of it is what is happening on your head. You can't be doing that.
And then we have from Sylvie, that was so nice of Jeff to pay Tori a beautiful compliment.
I was texting with Tori during the break, and I said, you were a good sport yesterday, Tori. I'm going to pay you a compliment today.
Mark
Thank you.
laughed out loud at your joke about Tori as Miles in the morning.
There was a couple stones thrown yesterday at Tori, so
You're such a good sport.
I had to repay the favor.
Any more Jen Shaw?
You know what's funny?
Oh. No, go Tori.
Wow, Sam just totally ignored you.
No, go Tori.
No. I'm just saying the pandemic is awful for so many reasons, but working from home, I don't know, the delay, Jeff and Erica, they get it. It's really just the worst thing ever. So I can't wait to fight with you all in person.
The worst would be not working.
Yes, we're very lucky.
You got it now.
Every day. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye, guys.
DBL.
I'll just be really 100. We always pull the curtain back on this show.
The most diverse team of voices in daytime.
You know I love you, and I feel that.
We're known for our authentic take.
I'm thrilled about it.
I can't.
You aren't shocked.
Have you guys all gone insane?
And no holds barred approach.
And that's the problem that we're talking about.
Get real.
On what everybody is talking about.
You just gave me chills. Thank you for that. I feel like you just spoke for every single viewer that is watching right now.
What we're talking about today on Daily Blast Live.
The murder trial for Derek Chauvin continues as a firefighter who tried to help George Floyd takes the stand, giving powerful testimony.
If he doesn't have a pulse, you need to start compressions.
In today's True Crime Chronicles, a fire chief's wife dies when her house goes up in flames. Was it an accident or a cold-blooded murder? Britney Spears breaks her silence, her thoughts on the controversial Framing Britney documentary. And housewives behaving badly, why another cast member from the franchise is now facing charges.
Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
Welcome to DBL. It is Wednesday, March 31st. I am Sam here with Jeff and Erica. Tori joins us from home. Let's get right to it because more emotional testimony at the trial of Derek Chauvin in Minnesota. This off-duty Minneapolis firefighter and paramedic got choked up as she recalled how she begged to help George Floyd when she believed he was dying on the street. Take a look.
There was no medical assistance on scene, and I got there and I could have given medical assistance. That's exactly what I should have done. I also offered, in my memory, I offered to walk them through it or told them, if he doesn't have a pulse, you need to start compressions, and that wasn't done either.
Things got heated between she and Derek Chauvin's defense attorney. That led the judge to step in. Take a look.
And would you describe other people's demeanors as upset or angry?
I don't know if you've seen anybody be killed, but it's upsetting.
You will not argue with the court. You will not argue with counsel.
Mm-hmm.
They have the right to ask questions. Your job is to answer them.
I was finishing my answer.
I will determine when your answer is done.
Okay, well.
And so, do not argue with the court. Do not argue with counsel. Answer the questions. Do not volunteer information that is not requested.
Another witness who testified yesterday was a 9-year-old girl who talked about how she felt witnessing what happened to George Floyd.
I was sad and kind of mad.
And tell us, why were you sad and mad?
Because it felt like he was stopping his breathing, and it's kind of like hurting him.
Wow. All right. So, DBL Nation, we always want to hear from you. What did you think of all this testimony? And Erica, what were your thoughts, A, of the testimony, but also having this 9-year-old girl testify?
Well, the 9-year-old was a witness, and she has her truth, and her truth needs to be heard just like any adult's truth. I think that people make a mistake to think that children don't understand or can articulate what they've experienced. This might have also been very cathartic for her, and I hope that she's getting some therapy. I was really confused about how overzealous the judge seemed to be going after the witness on the stand. And to me, like, it didn't sound like she was, because this isn't the totality of her testimony, it sounded like she was just answering in a question like, I don't know if you've ever seen someone lose their life, but it's very upsetting. I don't understand where all of the extra was coming from.
Yeah, I think the judge just had to take control. I think emotions are very high in this case, and for the next couple weeks it's going to go on. So I think he has to take control of the courtroom right now. But I want to focus more about the 9-year-old little girl. I mean, you mentioned it's cathartic, and I hope it is for her. I'm just worried about the trauma that she witnessed, the trauma of going through all this, because of a lot of things that happen to you later on in life stem back to when you were a child, right? So I hope she's getting the therapy that she needs. I hope she takes this all in stride and it doesn't affect the rest of her life.
Yeah, Tori, you know the legal system more than any of us. What did you make of not only, having the 9-year-old testify, and I agree with Jeff and Erica, but also the reaction of that judge? Was that customary in your opinion?
I think it was the judge showing that he was in control, but I also want to point out how important the crowd's reaction is to this case. So both the defense and the prosecution want to focus on the crowd. Now, one side wants to say they were really upset and worried that someone was going to die, and that was clear. And the other side is saying they were very angry, and because they were angry, police had to take a harder stance. So when she offered a little bit of her own testimony of thoughts, he kind of stepped in. Did I think it was too much? Absolutely. I think he should have backed off. But know that both the prosecution and defense needs that crowd for different reasons, and that's why those witnesses are so important. And may I just say, just like you guys all said, that 9-year-old, we need her. We need her testimony like Ruby Bridges needed to go to school. We need her because if a 9-year-old could see that this man was being hurt, then a police officer should have known as well.
Well said, Tori. And in fact, we're getting comments saying that, testifying is too traumatic for a 9-year-old. Well, I think witnessing a man die is too traumatic for a 9-year-old.
And there are land hearings for that. There's a determination if a child can go before the court or not and advocate for themselves or others.
Well said.
Just so you know.
Okay, so we have some good news and some not so good news about the pandemic. Let's start with the good news, shall we? Pfizer just announced results from its clinical trials showing that its vaccine is 100% effective and well tolerated in kids ages 12 to 15. Now on to some bad news. Doctors are saying the next surge isn't on the horizon, but it's already here as COVID-19 cases are rising in 27 states. Some are wondering if this new fourth wave could lead to another lockdown, like the one we had last spring. So the question is, in DBL Nation, I'm always reading your comments. Are you ready for another lockdown? What would you say, Jeff?
No, absolutely not. I think we know a lot more than the start of the pandemic, and I think we've learned that being outside with the UV rays, it helps not spread the cause of this virus. Vitamin D is very good for your body and in protecting yourself against this virus. So I think a lockdown is a complete mistake. Being inside, indoors with people who are spreading this virus, being outside is the answer to taming this virus. So a lockdown, absolutely not.
I think it's going to contribute to more policing each other. Like there's going to be this communal.
More?
Yes, I really do, because now we have this whole demographic who have been vaccinated and people who haven't been, people who have been playing by the rules and people who haven't been. But the idea that some people are like, wow, I have newfound freedom, I want to go out and live my life, is going to create more policing of each other within our communities.
I'm all for that. And before, I remember when Tori said on the show that she's going to ask for a vaccine card. I am right there with you now, Tori. I'm serious. I'm not going to risk my husband or my child or children. I forget that I have two. Isn't that funny? It's even though Miles is a year old, I forget that I have two. But I'm not going to risk it. I'm going to hang out with people that are vaccinated.
And Tori, I want you to jump in too. But what if they lift the mask mandate, right? And there are people over policing. Okay, I'm with you. I don't like when people point out other people just to be that person to tell someone what to do. But if they lift the mask mandate and you don't technically have to wear a mask and you are vaccinated, who is someone to come out and point out your business, what's going on? Do you know what I'm saying? So you said it's going to over-police. That's going to cause problems if people try to over-police when they're like, show me your vaccine card. It's like, no, lady, who are you?
I would never ask a stranger, show me your vaccine card.
No, but people do. People are taking authority upon themselves.
But if I'm going to have a get-together, I'm going to have a get-together with people that are vaccinated only. That's just my point. Tori.
No, that's the consequence you take. If you don't want to be vaccinated, that's your choice right now, but that means that you ain't coming to my house, and my house is off the hook.
Tori, none of us have been to your house, and that was way before the pandemic. So you can just hook that back up, because that is not true.
She used the pandemic as an excuse why she has no one over.
I know. I want to go to Erica's karaoke lounge.
Oh,
is that what I can call it?
It's the Cobb Karaoke Club. It's in the basement. We got the big disco ball, some stream lighting.
You sing our song.
Yep, that's right. Shoop. I was shooping this weekend.
Yep.
We got 2 mics, y'all.
Ooh, girl. I know Jeff's song. Can I tell the viewers?
Of course.
Jeff's song is Digital Underground, the Humpty Hump.
Wow, you even like you were filling out the card. Digital Underground.
I know.
You knew the name too.
Of course.
That's pretty. You get bonus points.
You don't think I know who Digital Underground is?
That was. I'm giving you a compliment.
Okay. It feels like that you don't have faith in me that I'm not cool.
Well.
Did you guys see Jeff's face? All right, coming up on DBL, a real housewife is in trouble with the feds. Ooh. Why would she invite cameras in knowing she might be up to something shady?
Good question, Sam.
Okay, Erica has something to say about that. Plus, former reality TV star and businessman Bill Rancic, he's telling Jeff about his new mission to help patients beat cancer after his wife Juliana's brave battle. And Britney Spears is finally reacting to that explosive documentary about her financial situation. What she's saying next.
Lots of folks are talking online about foregoing COVID-19 tests after getting vaccinated, essentially celebrating the fact that they'll never have to take another test again after getting their shots. But is this sentiment in line with the official guidance? Our question is, are vaccinated people exempt from COVID-19 tests? For more, we went to the CDC and North Carolina's State Health Director, Dr. Elizabeth Tilson. It turns out the answer comes down to symptoms.
So people who are fully vaccinated, which means that you're at least 14 days after your last dose. If you have any symptoms of COVID, you still should get tested. It is just people who are fully vaccinated. If they have a close contact but they don't have any symptoms, then they don't need to get tested.
But the CDC reminds even the vaccinated with no symptoms pass only goes so far. There could be additional testing requirements in certain situations and in certain states and localities. For example, it says if you were to travel internationally and come home, you'd still have to test to re-enter the country, regardless of vaccination status. So here's how we're breaking down this verify. Are vaccinated people exempt from COVID-19 tests? For an exposure with no symptoms, the answer is yes. For an exposure with symptoms, the answer is no. And for re-entry to the U.S. after travel, it's also no. With your Verify, I'm Vanessa Rufus.
Welcome back to DBL. There are our co-workers tuning in from home during the pandemic. Keep up the great work, everyone. So Britney Spears has spoken, or broken her silence rather, about a controversial documentary exploring her life in the spotlight. Britney posted a lengthy message on Instagram yesterday, along with a video of her dancing. She wrote that she didn't watch the New York Times doc called Framing Britney Spears, but said from what she had seen of it, she was embarrassed by the light they put her in and ended up crying for 2 weeks. She felt judged and exposed her whole life, and she just needs to dance to keep her sanity and to feel human and alive. Page 6 is also reporting that Britney's father has filed legal papers requesting the singer pay more than $3 million in legal fees due to their ongoing conservatorship battle. Wow. You know, I thought that Britney Spears would be relieved to have her story out. And a month or so ago, when this, first came to light, I called one of her main backup dancers, who's a really good friend of mine, and I asked him to come on the show and speak about it. He said, absolutely not. Britney would be horrified. He said, I was asked to also do that documentary. There was a backup dancer in that documentary. It was not him, the person I'm speaking of. And he said, and she's really upset that people that love her and know her are speaking for her. So this just goes to show, even though there's many people advocating for her, that this is traumatizing for her, and she does not have a voice still.
Yeah, and she's very much in it on top of it, which always makes the story or the subject a very tricky one to navigate. I just watched the Tina documentary on Tina Turner on HBO Max, and that put things into perspective for me a lot, because she was really trying to get under that I've been abused, by Ike Turner thing. She had this major comeback, and every time she made an attempt to put it out there so that it would go away, then people would take the story, own her narrative. She didn't have ownership over it, so she tried to do it herself. And what she kept saying was, I don't like to visit that part of I want to be happy. I don't want to be living in my trauma. And every time something comes up about Britney Spears, it forces the person to live in their trauma. So how is that fair to anyone?
Was Tina in the documentary that you're speaking of?
Yes, she was.
So I like that, okay? I always say this, Tiger Woods wasn't in his documentary. They could say whatever they want. Britney Spears wasn't in hers. They could say whatever they want. But I want to hear from the person. I want to hear from Tina Turner what Tina's experiences were like. Not to sensationalize a story and try to sell more copies or newspaper articles or whatever it may be. I like when people are in it. So I get Britney on this side saying, that's not my truth. You might think it is, but it's not.
Right. And, you know, she allegedly can't speak her truth, you know, to that conservatorship and everything that she's gone through with her dad. And to now hear that her dad allegedly is suing her for $3 million, if that's true, that just proves the egregiousness of their relationship and his protection, I say that in quotes, of his daughter.
I would imagine it being a lot different at 39, I think Britney Spears is, than 79 when Tina Turner sat down to really finally open up. So, I mean, she's very much in it. These are all things that are happening in real time.
Right. I know. Gosh, I just hope that we can hear from Britney herself one day. And let me tell you, we stand with you, Britney. Coming up on DBL, Brad and Angelina's never-ending divorce drama. Why their relationship is still on the rocks years after filing the papers. And one-on-one with Bill Rancic, from life with Juliana to what he's learned since winning The Apprentice nearly 20 years ago. Don't miss it. That's coming up next.
Recently, I live in New York City now. I live in Queens, which has a very large Asian population. There have been reports of, I mean, just the ugliest names, the ugliest slurs, like they feel like mud coming out of my mouth. But, you know, I have friends who have had rocks thrown at them when they're trying to go for a jog. It's you know, you hear stories about a 65-year-old woman getting hit in the head. It's reached a fever pitch that is new.
DBL.
I'll just be really 100. We always pull the curtain back on this show.
The most diverse team of voices in daytime.
You know I love you, and I feel that.
We're known for our authentic take.
I'm thrilled about it.
I can't.
You aren't shocked.
Have you guys all gone insane?
And no holds barred approach.
And that's the problem that we're talking about.
Get real.
On what everybody is talking about.
You just gave me chills. Thank you for that. I feel like you just spoke for every single viewer that is watching right now.
Welcome back to DBL. Bill Rancic is the first reality show contestant to hear the words, "You hired," from Donald Trump. Was that a good one, Rob? No. Well, now Bill's his own boss, advocating for cancer care. Earlier, he opened up about his wife Juliana's battle with the diagnosis in today's Chatting with the Stars. Bill Rancic, welcome to Daily Blast Live. As the first winner of The Apprentice, you were part of reality TV history. What did you learn from your former boss and president, and when was the last time you spoke with him?
Well, you know, it was funny. When I did The Apprentice, you know, reality TV was in its infancy. You know, lo and behold, it was one of the most highly rated shows of that year. So for me, it was an opportunity of a lifetime, and it helped me go on to do other great things. You know, through that experience, I met my wife, Juliana, as well.
What was it like, you know, getting interviewed by Juliana after you were winning The Apprentice, and then somehow you started talking about kids, marriage, your zodiac sign? You asked her out on a date. Was that love at first sight right there, Bill?
What do you look for in a girl?
I mean, I want someone who's fun and, you know, exciting, and someone you can share your life with, someone who's, you know, into adventure.
You know, she was interviewing me, ironically enough. I was out promoting one of the, I think it was season 3, because I became a judge on the show. And, you know, I knew that she was a runner. And after the interview, I worked up enough courage to ask her if she wanted to go for a run sometime. And she kind of looked at me funny, and she paused and she said, "How about dinner instead?" And that was it. It was love at first sight. We were engaged like 10 or 11 months later, and we've been together over 15 years now, and we have an 8-year-old son named Duke.
Back in 2011, Juliana was diagnosed with cancer, but now she's back on that same red carpet, Bill.
I mean, come on.
What's the latest on Juliana's cancer recovery right now?
Well, she's been cancer-free, thank God, and you know, certainly she has used this negative and turned it into a positive. And through showcasing her cancer journey on the Juliana and Bill show, we were able to, you know, really inspire a lot of people to go out and get mammograms or give self-exams, whatever the case may be.
Bill, what was it like for you? Because everyone always asks about Juliana. What was it like for you caring for a spouse with cancer? Were you scared at any point?
You know, when you're a caregiver, it's funny, you wear a lot of different hats. But I think the most important role I played was helping Juliana make decisions based on knowledge rather than decisions based on emotion.
That's great advice, Bill. Now, you're currently promoting the C3 Prize. People from all over the world submitted their best ideas about improving cancer care. What else can you tell us about this challenge, Bill?
Well, it's the C3 Prize, and we've been doing it for 5 years now, and it stands for Changing Cancer Care. And our mission is really to improve the life of those people who are impacted by cancer beyond the medicine component.
We want to recognize all of the innovators who submitted their ideas to change cancer care this year.
I needed to join this movement because Juliana and I started this 10 years ago, and I wanted to keep moving it forward.
Thank you so much for talking to us today. You answered so many great questions, but I got to be honest, Bill, you didn't answer the one about when the last time you talked to the president was.
Oh, you know what? He's been pretty busy, and you know, I've been letting him do his job, and I've been focusing on and helping people with the cancer. So anyone who wants to join this movement, they can go to c3prize.com and join the movement.
Bill, you're a genius with the answers. I was only teasing you, man. You're doing something way better. So, Bill Rancic, thank you so much for joining us on Daily Blast.
I know you
Live.
were. I know.
Totally teasing with you, man. Totally teasing with you. Listen, give our best to Juliana and the rest of the family, and continue, guys.
Great job out there, too.
Thank you so much, man. Hopefully, you know, when the COVID settles down, we can get you guys in studio one day if you're ever in Denver.
Well, count us in. We love Denver. That's where our son was born.
Bill, thank you so much, man. We'll be right back, everybody.
Okay.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
For a lot of people still waiting for stimulus checks, they should soon be in the mail. But that is not true for everyone. Let's connect the dots. People who receive Social Security and other federal benefits but don't normally file a tax return should start having their stimulus payments processed this weekend. The IRS says the majority of those payments will be sent electronically and should be received by April 7th. This is welcome news because many people on Social Security have so far not received their individual $1,400 payments. So why were the checks held up? The short answer is red tape. The long answer is the Social Security Act does not allow the agency to use money for administrative work not connected to their main mission. That means they couldn't get the IRS the information it needed to send out checks, but thanks to some legal wrangling, that has now been worked out. One group left out of this good news, VA beneficiaries. The IRS says it is continuing to review data it has on people who receive veterans benefits but don't file tax returns. But it does expect to come up with a payment date soon, hopefully around mid-April.
DBL, we have a very special shout out to a friend of the show, Mila Jam. She's got a new single that is making its worldwide premiere today. It's called Pretty One, and in honor of International Transgender Day of Visibility, a day that's dedicated to celebrating trans people and raising awareness to all their contributions, we'd like to play some of Mila's new jam. Here's Pretty One. Yes! You introduced me to Mila Jam.
Okay, everybody should know Mila Jam, okay? We were watching a finale of a reality TV show, and we were like texting, then we got on the phone, and she told me this was dropping today. I was like, well, we got to get it on the show. Yes. So we did. I love the show because of things like this, because when we have friends of the show, they are family, and we love you, Mila. It's a great song. Especially, y'all listen for the breakdown. Because the breakdown.
So good.
Congratulations, Mila. That's amazing.
Unbelievable. Okay, so if you're leaving us, you can watch the second half of the show on Facebook or YouTube. But if you're sticking around, here is what is coming up. A reality TV housewife is in trouble with the law. We'll tell you what the feds are accusing Jen Shah of doing. Plus, a fire chief's wife dies in a shocking house fire. Was it an accident or was she targeted? That's in True Crime Chronicles. And a big thank you to our coworkers tuning in from home right now. Hey, Kelly. DBL is new every day. We'll be right back.
You know I love you, and I feel that.
We're known for our authentic take.
Well, I'm thrilled about it.
I can't.
Yeah. You aren't shocked.
Have you guys all gone insane?
And no holds barred approach.
And that's the problem that we're talking about.
Get real.
On what everybody is talking about.
You just gave me chills. Thank you for that. I feel like you just spoke for every single viewer that is watching right now.
Is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about. Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
3, 2.
Welcome to DBL. I am Sam here with Jeff and Erica. Tori joins us from home. All right, so let's get right to it because Jen Shaw, a cast member on The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, has been arrested on federal fraud charges. According to Entertainment Tonight, Jen was arrested while she and the cast were on a bus headed to Colorado for the show. She's facing charges of conspiracy to commit wire fraud and money laundering. She and an assistant allegedly defrauded hundreds of people, many who were seniors. Jen was seen leaving court in Salt Lake City yesterday. If convicted, she would face up to 30 years in prison. She isn't the only housewife, by the way, who has been in trouble with the law. New Jersey housewife Teresa Giudice spent 11.5 months in prison after being convicted of fraud back in 2014. And Real Housewife of New York, Luann de Lesseps, was arrested in 2017 for assaulting a police officer, disorderly intoxication, and resisting arrest. And this couple, if you remember from the Real Housewives of D.C., were investigated after they crashed a party at the White House back in 2009. Okay, let's go back to the current case. Erica Cobb, I know you know a lot about this. What do you think about Jen Shaw?
Lord, when I heard this news yesterday, it rocked my entire world. I mean, really. And I was looking for somebody to talk to about it, and I realized I must be the only one in my circle watching Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. But let me just tell you, anytime somebody asks you what you do for a living and you do this song and dance, what basically, blah, blah, blah. Basically, she was the Chandler, like from Friends, or Tommy, like from Martin, where nobody knew what Jen Shaw do.
Really?
Nobody knows. Nobody knows. She has all these Fendi's, Gooch, Dolce, Sage. She has all the things, but no explanation for how she got them. And you know the husband, so generally it's the husband because it is Real Housewives, right? So the husband, Sharif Shaw, which Coach Shaw, first of all, protect that man at all costs. Coach Shaw has done nothing wrong. He is innocent. I tell you right now, I have never seen Coach Shaw wear anything other than university-issued athletic apparel. He has not been flexing a Gooch or a Sace. So if you leave him alone, he is innocent. But Jen, you got your day. Your day's in court. And we all watching because you know they were filming season 2. Ooh. They were filming season 2, y'all. They were filming season 2.
Do you think one of the producers told?
Yes, I think everybody's in on it. That's some good TV.
Yeah, you know, Jeff, you know how reality shows work. Clearly, if Erica, a viewer, sniffed something was off, you don't think the producers were sniffing something was off, and then Erica, and then she gets arrested while they're shooting? Come on now, Jeff.
How are you going to get my opinion after that?
Because you're the reality TV expert.
You're the expert.
But I didn't do like this type of...
Do you believe the producers sniffed it?
I don't know. I don't know what happens over there.
Okay, well, let me just give you a couple more facts. So it turns out that they were actually, she was getting her glam done by her squad. And then before she boarded the bus, apparently the feds swooped in and got her. So wouldn't that mean that somebody on the inside had to have known?
For sure.
Here's what I would say. I think another cast member might have leaked it to one of the producers, and then they might have did a story on it. I think it would have been a cast member before a producer.
Yep.
That's my
Tori, you think it was strictly the producers knowing something, or maybe she's been investigated for years, or was it a cast member?
It was 100% producers, and let me just tell you something. They were also, I heard, on a bus. So, like, the cops had to come on and, like, scoot by all the other housewives to, like, get her, and they're filming the whole time.
Erica,
this is good. That's like a scene from Set It Off.
Yes, so I'm super into this. But when you scam the elderly, you've reached a limit to me. You've touched like the beyond. You can do a lot of things that I can respect after you apologize or whatever. When you scam the elderly, you're out.
Yep. Exactly.
Plus, she's a terrible person. Ooh. I mean, she is a terrible person. And I don't just call people terrible people just to call people terrible people. No, for real, she is a terrible person. Well, she was a terrible person on the show, and then she was a terrible person off the show.
Well, she's going to get what she deserves. Mm-hmm. All right, so let's change. Let's go to the next story, shall we? Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie are racking up some pretty hefty legal bills due to their ongoing divorce. The former couple have reportedly spent $1 million each in legal fees. The couple has also hired a private judge, which can cost up to $1,000 an hour. Brad is asking for joint custody of his 5 minor children with Angelina, but she wants full custody. Their youngest kids are 12. So the battle could go on another 6 years until they turn 18. Yeah. This is so sad, Tori. This just makes me, for the children, like this, and I even feel uncomfortable speaking about it, but I know that that's what we're here to do.
No, can I be honest? I know a lot of divorce attorneys, and a lot of them say that no one wins in divorce court. It's just who gets hurt the most. And that includes the children. No one's going to win here. If she wants full custody and Brad Pitt wants 50-50, this could go on. And I have a hard time believing that $1 million is what they spent. I have a very hard time believing that's not much higher of a number. So expect this to just drag on because they can, because they got the money. It's going to be awful. The kids are going to suffer. None of this is a win-win. This is a lose-lose.
Tori, I'm going to disagree and say there is a definite winner in this. You said there are no winners. The lawyers.
Yep.
They win every time in divorce court.
Yeah,
and they're going to drag this on until they are 18. I feel bad for Brad and Angelina. We do this story all the time. I feel bad for our show because we started off with fireworks and we saw the grand finale. Now we're just like, pew, pew.
You're right.
It's like the leftover fireworks. We should have ended with the housewife story. But Tori, you know what? I want to say something to you, Tori. Your hair looks really good. Did you do something different? You look great today.
It really does.
Jeff, okay, hold up. You didn't even notice this morning, and it broke my heart.
I was paying you a compliment on air. You didn't have to give behind the scenes.
Tori, your hair looks fantastic.
You got a compliment.
Did you get a cut?
I got it cut from Courtney, your girl. She's so good.
Oh, Sam, your hair looks terrific too. Erica, you look
Courtney
stunning
is
today.
really good.
Well, thanks,
Erica
Jeff.
always glows
look
from
great,
within.
too.
You always look good too.
I said your hair looks good.
I know you always look good though.
Oh, I was trying to give me and Tori like a little thing because
I thought that was significant. I thought that was great.
Yeah, and then it kind of backfired. So
it was sweet.
Thank you,
What
Jeffrey.
do we got coming up next?
Drake.
Okay.
We're going to talk about Drake, okay? Drake was the recent target of an attempted break-in yesterday while he was at home. A woman was arrested after she attempted to break into Drake's Toronto mansion. She even allegedly attacked a security officer with a metal pipe. Now, in the past, the rapper has given tours of his $100 million pad. What? On Instagram, and pictures of the sprawling mansion have been featured in Architectural Digest. It contains 2 saunas, a massage room, screening room, sports jerseys, and a full-sized basketball court. And Drake isn't alone. Kendall Jenner reportedly had to move out of her Beverly Hills home after a man broke onto her property and attempted to swim naked in her pool. TMZ is also reporting that Kendall got a temporary restraining order against a man who threatened to kill her. Wow, that's very scary. You know, a lot of people might envy people that have money and fame, but this is the dark side to being famous and wealthy. You have to sacrifice your security, and that's terrifying.
Yeah, I mean, it's a major
$100 million home? That's ridiculous.
Well,
Sorry, go ahead.
I mean, hey, if it's a drop in the bucket, it's a drop in your bucket.
It's a big bucket.
Yeah, I think anytime somebody has their home violated in that way, anyone's in your home that shouldn't be in your home is a violation, no matter if your house is $100 or $100 million.
Right.
That's just what it is. I went through plenty of sage.
Oh, go ahead.
Did you ever, you know, you've been very honest with our show that you had endured a break-in. Have you come to a place where you feel safe again?
I feel safe in my home, but we definitely have taken more measures than we had before. But also, I think it's very important, and I know people feel differently about this, but I took back my home right away. Like, as soon as the police left, I saged the entire house, scrubbed everything down. Like, I took ownership over my home because, as suggested, if I would have gone and stayed somewhere else, then it would have been really hard for me to come back. So
Great
I
advice.
just did it that way.
Tori, you wanted to chime in. I'm sorry.
Not at all, and I feel like such a dope being from home, being like, excuse me, Erica, I have something to say. I'm so sorry for interrupting. Quickly, I'll say, you have to be careful as a celebrity to take pictures. Kim Kardashian took a picture of that ring. The robbers in France hit that ring specifically. Drake was very open about his house. That's all I was going to say is keep it off social media.
That's great advice. Evie Pamporis, remember we had her on the show, former Secret Service agent, always recommended do not advertise your business, meaning like your jewelry, what, you know.
How about Tori's Scrabble pillows in the back? Dude, if someone breaks in and sees Scrabble pillows, they're like, I'm in Tori's house.
And my crossword mug. my crossword mug.
Nobody's breaking into her home.
You're perfectly fine.
You're good. Coming up on DBL, a mystery seared into a small community's mind after a fire chief's wife dies in a horrific inferno. Was it an accident or cold-blooded murder? That's next in True Crime Chronicles.
Lots of folks are talking online about foregoing COVID-19 tests after getting vaccinated, essentially celebrating the fact that they'll never have to take another test again after getting their shots. But is this sentiment in line with the official guidance? Our question is, are vaccinated people exempt from COVID-19 tests? For more, we went to the CDC and North Carolina's State Health Director, Dr. Elizabeth Tilson. It turns out the answer comes down to symptoms.
People who are fully vaccinated, which means that you're at least 14 days after your last dose. If you have any symptoms of COVID, you still should get tested. It is just people who are fully vaccinated. If they have a close contact but they don't have any symptoms, then they don't need to get tested.
But the CDC reminds even the vaccinated with no symptoms pass only goes so far. There could be additional testing requirements in certain situations and in certain states and localities. For example, it says if you were to travel internationally and come home, you'd still have to test to re-enter the country, regardless of vaccination status. So here's how we're breaking down this verify. Are vaccinated people exempt from COVID-19 tests? For an exposure with no symptoms, the answer is yes. For an exposure with symptoms, the answer is no. And for re-entry to the U.S. after travel, it's also no. With your Verify, I'm Vanessa Rufus.
Welcome back to DBL. In 2017, Nanette Krentel, the wife of a fire chief, was found dead in a house fire. Was it an accident or something more sinister? 4 years later, it remains a mystery. Here's today's True Crime Chronicles.
Nanette was a retired teacher, married to the local fire chief, Steve Krentel. The two were living in a big, beautiful home in the woods of Lacombe, a small town in St. Tammany Parish, Louisiana. Nanette loved her family, but as years went on, she became more distant, citing she was living in fear.
This is a statement she always made. As long as I have my guns and the cameras and I'm at home, I'm safe.
It was July 2017. Nanette was just 2 weeks shy of celebrating her 50th birthday. That afternoon, something happened that no one has been able to piece together.
Dad called and said, Kim, Nanette's dead. And I just, what? And just immediately started screaming, they killed her.
Nanette was found burned to death in her home in the middle of the day.
We're doing everything possible. This is tough due to the fact that it was the fire was so hot and damaged and destroyed a lot of evidence.
Someone called in the fire at 2:30 that afternoon, and Nanette's husband arrived on scene shortly after.
I'm looking forward to them piecing together what happened and trusting that they're doing their job doing that.
So what did happen? The Krentels had 9 cameras installed around their home, but the only salvageable one from the fire was outside, near the gate.
There's a security camera somewhere on this road that captured Nanette coming back to the property at 9:11 a.m. the morning she died.
There was also video evidence of her at a McDonald's drive-thru before returning home. So, could someone have followed her back? Several weapons were found next to Nanette's body, but that wasn't a surprise to her family.
She had one handgun in her purse, one in the house, one in her vehicle at all times.
What was a surprise was the way the Lacombe Police Department investigated.
And as soon as we pulled up, I pulled Kim aside. I said, "This ain't right. This hasn't even, nobody's even investigated this."
Nanette's family was shocked at the scene, noticing little evidence was picked over, leaving the family to speculate. Was this fire an accident or intentional?
We've heard questions about whether it was either or, could it have been a suicide? The coroner ruled this a homicide, and that's what we're continuing to investigate it as.
Nanette's husband was cleared as a suspect, but all these years later, the case is still cold. Was someone after the fire chief's wife? The small-town Louisiana mystery is the subject of a brand new podcast, Beyond Bardstown, Lacombe, out now.
Earlier, Jeff and I spoke with the host of that new podcast. Take a look. We are joined by podcast host and WWL TV anchor and reporter Katie Moore. Katie, thank you so much for being here and bringing this story to light. So you are a journalist who's covered dozens of cold cases, but what made you want to further investigate this particular case?
You know, when it happened, it was a fire chief's wife missing in a house fire. And it was one of those things that really just sparked a lot of people's interest locally. And so from there, we started to hear about all these twists and turns involved in the investigation and what happened itself. And so it was one of those things where I thought, let's just really dig into this one. And I got to know the family pretty well. The more that I got to know them, the more that I thought, you know, this is something that needs to be brought to light.
Katie, could you tell us a little bit more about who Nanette and Steve actually were, and what do you know about their life leading up to the incident?
Nanette and Steve had an interesting relationship, one that we really got involved in and got to know very well by trying to cover this case. Nanette and Steve lived in a house that was really secluded in this part of St. Tammany Parish, which again is outside of New Orleans, and they had built this house into essentially a fortress. And so as they started to make this house more secure, adding surveillance cameras, Nanette started buying guns. Steve was helping her buy those guns. Things that really made you say, well, what was Nanette so afraid of? And there were some members of the family that Nanette had raised some concerns about to her family. And so those are some of the things that we're going to get into when we talk about it in this podcast.
Many have speculated if the fire was an accident or intentional. Now, Katie, will your podcast give listeners any new perspective?
Yeah, and you know, the fire itself was so fascinating because it started in the middle of the day, in the middle of the afternoon, which if you talk to any fire experts out there, which we talked to a number for the series, they'll tell you that people don't normally, you know, end up in a fire in the middle of the afternoon, you know, ever, unless they have for some reason, you know, unexplained circumstances that led them there. So it's very unusual for this to happen. And so you had, you know, questions about where Nanette was. And then, of course, you have the fact that this is a fire chief's house that's catching fire in the middle of the afternoon. So that's absolutely something that we're going to talk about in the podcast.
Now, Katie, you mentioned earlier that you spoke with Nanette's family, and obviously they are desperate for answers. Why do they feel like they need to put pressure on police?
You know, I think even from the very earliest hours of this happening, they started to raise questions about how the investigation into this fire was being handled. I think that they just had a lot of those things that were red flags in their minds. And so they all started to get together and say, what can we do to assist this investigation and to make sure that law enforcement and, you know, the state fire marshal's office, everybody who was involved really turned it up.
To our viewers out there, to hear the full story, listen to the brand new podcast, Bardstown, Lacombe. It's out now. You can listen on your favorite podcast player. Katie, we appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me.
We'll be right back.
Recently, I live in New York City now. I live in Queens, which has a very large Asian population. There have been reports of, just the ugliest names, the ugliest slurs. They feel like mud coming out of my mouth. But, I have friends who have had rocks thrown at them when they're trying to go for a jog. You hear stories about a 65-year-old woman getting hit in the head. It's reached a fever pitch that is new.
DBL.
I'll just be really 100. We always pull the curtain back on this show.
The most diverse team of voices in daytime.
You know I love you, and I feel that.
We're known for our authentic take.
I'm thrilled about it.
I can't.
Yeah. You aren't shocked.
Have you guys all gone insane?
And no holds barred approach.
And that's the problem that we're talking about.
Get real.
On what everybody is talking about.
You just gave me chills. Thank you for that. I feel like you just spoke for every single viewer that is watching right now. It's time for Security Alert, sponsored by LifeLock. There's a big increase in gift card scams, according to the Better Business Bureau. They've nearly tripled over the past 3 years. The scammers are targeting consumers over 65 and asking them to make a payment via a gift card. Unfortunately, gift cards don't carry the same protection as credit or debit cards. So if your information has been breached, LifeLock is here to help. LifeLock keeps you and your digital identity secure from cyber criminals. Call 1-800-439-9017 or visit lifelock.com to learn more. Again, seniors are the ones are the most vulnerable.
Yeah. I was going to use my joke again, but I do think Jen Shaw has something to do with this.
Ooh.
Yeah. I mean, that's like, it's just an updated scam.
Yeah, I know. We will be following that story. Mark my word. We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
the bladder control aisle. You won't shop here again. Your price.
A lot of people still waiting for stimulus checks. They should soon be in the mail. But that is not true for everyone. Let's connect the dots. People who receive Social Security and other federal benefits but don't normally file a tax return should start having their stimulus payments processed this weekend. The IRS says the majority of those payments will be sent electronically and should be received by April 7th. This is welcome news because many people on Social Security have so far not received their individual $1,400 payments. So why were the checks held up? The short answer is red tape. The long answer is the Social Security Act does not allow the agency to use money for administrative work not connected to their main mission. That means they couldn't get the IRS the information it needed to send out checks, but thanks to some legal wrangling, that has now been worked out. One group left out of this good news, VA beneficiaries. The IRS says it is continuing to review data it has on people who receive veterans benefits but don't file tax returns. But it does expect to come up with a payment date soon, hopefully around mid-April.
Thank you.
On DBL. Amid the rise of anti-Asian hate crimes, one journalist is sharing her emotional experience confronting a childhood bully from her past. And actor Michael Cudlitz, he's taken on a new role in the spooky Silence of the Lambs television reboot, Clarice. That's tomorrow, right here on DBL. Ooh, we got some comments about Jen Shaw. Okay. Antoinette says Erica's take on Jen Shaw was on point. Yadira says, can we talk about Jen Shaw with that hairstyle? Cultural appropriation.
I was going to say that's the most criminal part of it is what is happening on your head. You can't be doing that.
And then we have from Sylvie, that was so nice of Jeff to pay Tori a beautiful compliment.
I was texting with Tori during the break, and I said, you were a good sport yesterday, Tori. I'm going to pay you a compliment today.
Mark
Thank you.
Laughed out loud at your joke about Tori as Miles in the morning.
There was a couple stones thrown yesterday at Tori, so I had
You're such a good sport.
I had to repay the favor.
Mm-hmm. Any more Jen Shaw?
You know what's funny?
Oh. No, go Tori.
Wow, Sam just totally ignored you.
No, go Tori.
No. I'm just saying the pandemic is awful for so many reasons, but working from home, I don't know, the delay, Jeff and Erica, they get it. It's really just the worst thing ever. So I can't wait to fight with you all in person.
The worst would be not working.
Yes, we're very lucky.
You got it on that
every day. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye, guys.